think that's just about everything. Looks good to me. Oh, there is one setting I just realized I forgot to set, so give me just a moment. Yeah, you know what? I can keep this open while I'm doing this. I forgot I got to check or set one thing really quickly, so give me just a moment for everybody else. Welcome to the stream, my friends. I said I would shiny hunt more on stream, and I never got around to it this year, but I'm going to try. Hopefully, oh, you know what? Let me, since I'm going to be doing this, I need to mute my desktop audio so you guys don't double hear me. Otherwise, I figure, you know what? Let's give it a go, guys. Let's give one more chance. Let's see if this can happen, and hopefully, to your point, I don't want anything breaking like it did last time. But let's see if we can give it one more chance at the shiny luck for 2025 and see if I can get Zapdos to sparkle for me. Dare I say, I don't like double hunting, mainly because double hunting is like, it's fishing for stream moments, if you will. It's fishing for the idea that, like, the more games I'm playing at once, the more shinies I can get, and the more clippable moments there are. You'll see people hunting like 15 games at once, and then they're freaking out when a shiny happens, and it's like, well, duh, you had 15 games going. Normally, I don't do that. I basically made an exception because I don't hunt in the same game twice. So I have my Nintendo DS over here with Sapphire still hooked up in the bottom slot for Kyogre. I may introduce that, we'll see. Last time I did that, I crashed my own stream, so this year, I haven't streamed as much as I was going to anyway, so it's fair to catch up by, and let me adjust these really quickly. I found the settings that I forgot to set. It's fair to say that since I haven't played as many Pokemon games on stream as I thought I was going to, that I got to make up for lost time by popping a second game in there. But that's not really the point of today. We'll see where the chat takes us, where the vibes go. In the meantime, everybody, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Ivanus, Zapdos will break the stream again is not going to happen because it's not going to supercharge my stream. I have my in-game character for Let's Go, which is actually Naya, but that's all right because Naya has, now, as soon as I start talking, I have cats crawling all over me. They were dead asleep on the couch, they were happy, and now I've got cats. It's all right, buddy. I love you. It's okay. Your fluffy glory and your whiskers and everything like that, your paws, all of that is acceptable. Anyways, guys, so let me take 2 seconds here to kind of move a couple things around the desk. I forgot I got to grab the, I actually had the Pro Controller in my hand, and I didn't even realize what game I'm in. So it's the OG. This is the very first Pokemon game that was ever on Switch. To think that, I remember, like, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago that the very first Pokemon game was finally coming to Nintendo Switch. They had massive promos for it. They had those neon light-up trucks. I wonder where those trucks are. I'm sure they still have them. I'm sure they didn't decommission them. But they were massive Pokeball trucks. They had so many promos where, and they still do this, they have mascot costumes for Pikachu and Eevee marching in every freaking parade and dancing around outside the Pokemon Center in Japan, everything like that. And all of that was new for this game right here. And then the next thing you know, we're in the Switch 2 era. And I'm like, man, I didn't even finish. I got 2 more hunts to go. Moltres and Zapdos. I'm going in order, by the way. Articuno, done. That one was fast, by the way. It was January, actually. It might have been in 20... Yeah, it was this year. I started this year off with Articuno. It is appropriate that I finish it with Zapdos. Hunting the worst shiny ever, but the problem is, Archo, is that I gotta go in order. I decided I was gonna go uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3, man. Let's do the first... No, wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot. I got a full screen up, don't I? Let's do it. Bam. Just in case I decide that the vibe is right to go this way, Archo, Ivanus, you guys will witness this first. Check it out. I'm playing my hand here. I'm playing my lot. As I said a minute ago, is I don't like double hunting, and the reason I don't double hunt is because people that put as many games as they can on the screen act surprised when one of them has a shiny occur, and it's like, you're doubling your odds. 3 games, that's tripling your odds. 4 games, you know, all these emulators going, it's like, or even, you don't even if they're real, if they're the actual game, that's still quadruple, septuple your odds. But if I decide we go this way, Archo, it's ready. If we go this way, I will pop that next screen on there and try it again without crashing this freaking stream again. like Zapdos did last time. I need to do one thing really quickly. I need to move this Pro Controller back onto its slot. First off, one of the things I need to acquire is a new entertainment stand, I guess is what you would call it, because now I have a PS2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 all in one slot here. And then below it, I have off to the side here to where it gets proper ventilation because it's the weakest fan out of all of them. Don't worry, it's worked. It's never crashed. Mine's never crashed. Nintendo Switch is sitting off to the side because it's got to have proper cooling. The others all, they're jet engines, man. Their fans are crazy. The Switch, not so much, but it's never overheated, mainly because I think I keep it clean. Either way, I got that. And then over here, I've got Nintendo Wii, a dead GameCube that's doing nothing, a couple of handhelds, and my sound bar. So I'm out of room. Like, where's the Switch 2 go, you know? Still haven't acquired the Switch 2. Mainly because I keep telling myself I gotta get through a few games before I even think about a Switch 2. But next thing you know, I'm gonna be playing Kirby Air Ride when nobody's even playing Kirby Air Ride anymore. I'm gonna struggle to find people to play with. But that, I'm sure, will be a topic for a different day because right now, I'm aiming for, I just pulled up the screen too, by the way. Thank you guys so much for the likes on the stream right away. Probably Ivanus, Archo, you guys are 2 of the 3. Somebody's out there lurking. Anyways, Archo, my friend, I might bring Kyogre back into it. We'll see. For now, let's start. It's been a while, Zapdos. Since this is a full odds hunt with soft resetting, that's kind of why I introduced Kyogre in the first place. Because Kyogre, I think Kyogre's double the speed. By the way, it's hard to see when this thing is shiny. I'll give you that. This thing's shiny kind of sucks. So it's kind of hard to see like exactly when it shines, but I'm sure it'll catch my eye. I said the same thing about Articuno and it caught my eye instantly. That was funny too. Articuno took no time at all. I'm like, Mewtwo is the longest completed shiny hunt I have ever had in my entire life. My entire life, I've never had a hunt that bad. And Articuno, like, immediately, I'm like a few hundred resets, and that thing shined. Well, I guess, no, because it's probably like 800. I would say I did 800 or so resets of Articuno when the game first came out. Then I got stuck with Mewtwo for 3.5 years or 4 years, somewhere in there. And then I came back here. So for me, it was like, wow, you couldn't have two more dichotomy than that. Is 4 years of my life on one hunt and like 4 seconds on the other. Articuno is a decent shiny. Zapdos does not. Zapdos, it's not the. It's like a 3 out of 10. It could be worse, but it's a solid 3 out of 10. I gotta remember what I'm doing. Articuno in this game and only this game, I swear it's vibrant. See, it really does this Pokemon justice. I think it looks great. So it popped a little more than I expected it to. Zapdos pops a little more than like red, blue, yellow, or I should say fire red, leaf green, rather. Zapdos pops a little more than back in those days anyways, but Zapdos I haven't encountered. I haven't even hunted this Pokemon after Gen 3, which when I say Gen 3, it was, how do I skip like that? Gen 3 was fire red, leaf green, but either way, so the first problem I've got is that I keep forgetting how to play this game since you can't use a controller. You got to use a Wiimote. The second thing I keep doing is hoping that Zapdos isn't going to crush this stream like he did last time. He popped the stream. And by the way, when the stream crashes like that, it's really awkward because with the way YouTube switched it about 3 years ago, the stream doesn't end itself. It just goes with a black screen after the disconnect. Kind of cool because... And I've never tried this, and please, Arceus, I don't want to. I do not want to find out. But you can reconnect to the stream without ending it and making its own video. So, like, if you break the stream because you crashed, but then you reconnect, it's still one stream. I don't want to find out, though. I really don't want to find out. Anyways, Archo, how are you doing, my friend? Doing a playthrough of the original Diamond. My Diamond version is alive again. I thought I lost it like I did my first one, and it would broke my heart if I lost that game, because losing that... first I lost it physically, then I lost it when it de-seeded itself. I thought that second cartridge did the same thing, and then all of a sudden it's fine. I'm like, all right. So every now and then I do Cresselia. It's been probably about 3 weeks since I did a Cresselia. Probably 4 weeks, actually. I don't even think I've done a single Cresselia. It sits on the stand over here. And every now and then I plug it back in, charge it up, and then... Because this thing doesn't hold as much of a charge anymore. But either way, I haven't done Cresselia in about, I'd say, all of December, or even, no, wait a minute. Yeah, I did that. I forgot. I took it with me on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, that was the last time I did some hunts. But either way, so that cartridge is alive and well, man, and I'm right there with you. You picked Turtwig this time, and you're gonna hunt Giratina. I am done hunting Giratina. I think I'm at 4 Giratinas. Yeah, I'm at 4 Giratinas so far. I've done as many Giratinas as I plan to do, which is not true, by the way. Actually, Archo, since you're here, I'll spoil it for you. Nobody else gets to know the secret unless they just happen to look in the stream. It's not that big of a secret. We would be in Brilliant Diamond right now because I never did my Arceus hunt in Brilliant Diamond. I would be there right now, except I forgot I'm hunting Giratina in Brilliant Diamond. But the question is, well, wait a minute. Giratina in Brilliant Diamond, why would I do that? Because I'm not actually hunting Giratina since I already caught that one. Is that 5? Yeah, I take it back. I lost track of my own ass on this one, man. It was 5. 1 in Diamond, 1 in Platinum, another in Diamond, then 1 in Brilliant Diamond. Oh, that's it, actually. Okay, it was 4. So 4 Giratinas. The 5th one, how am I going to go in Brilliant Diamond and Shiny hunt a Pokemon I've already caught? Shadow Form. I'm going to do Distortion version, man. But it's not actually catchable. I just thought it'd be funny to go for it. It's not a catchable Shiny, so I've never hunted an uncatchable Shiny before, so I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it. Yeah, Zapdos, you're going to be kind of tricky to see, I think. It depends how vibrant. I can alter the colors on the TV, and I guess I could on the Switch too. It depends. Well, I mean, it depends when I see it. We'll see. It's off by like 4 or 5 shades darker, so we'll see. To your point, it's not the greatest Shiny in the world, but I'm not gonna break the order now and go with Moltres. Although I will admit Moltres is a really nice Shiny, and Zapdos is really not. But either way, with that said, though, I'm sticking to it, man. I'm going in order 1, 2, 3. So once I do that, by the way, once I get Moltres, I think that's the end of Shiny hunting in this game, because unless I come back and just do regular hunts, which there's so many other hunts that are in the way of this one, then pretty much 2 more legendaries and I'm good to go. I'm happy. Why would bro hunt an uncatchable Shiny? Because I've never done it before. It's just, I think it'll be funny. I'm not putting a lot of effort into it, but I do want to do it before I get to Arceus. Although if I go to Arceus now, yeah, because I could get stuck. We'll see. Maybe I won't commit to the bit. We'll see how long I go for this one. It's been a while since I picked up Brilliant Diamond anyways. As you can see, Violet there's got my attention anyway. So I've been doing a little bit of Kyogre, but Kyogre, I would say I've done maybe 100 resets all year. Kyogre's been kind of on the back burner with that one. So, but that said, for anybody that has found their way here, the stream highlights video that I post every single year is officially up. So how was Christmas? Christmas was good. I didn't do a whole lot. Just went down to my parents' house and then came back up. But Christmas was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It was just nothing over the top. No extravagant stuff. No galas or no going out to massive Christmas parties. I guess I went to 2 Christmas parties, but otherwise it was good for me, man. And I've taken it easy since. So don't have to work. Off for the rest of the week, so I'm like, all right, let's endure the storm. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. It was looking like there were power outages. I would say they were scattered in about 6 states, and mine included some of those power outages. So I was like, all right, well, technically that gives me a good reason not to do it. But it wasn't just that. It was that there seemed to be some blipping on my internet. I was downloading something and I noticed it blipped a couple times, or it said unstable connection or something, I forget. And I was like, really? All I'm doing is downloading one thing? So I was like, okay, we'll assume that the internet is also suffering a little bit from the winter storm. It wasn't a bad storm. If anything, the snow was not bad at all. It was just the freaking wind was annoying. So, and it's still, it looks like all week the wind is going to be a little rough. It's not necessarily 50-mile-per-hour gusts and, tornadic or anything crazy, but it is just enough that it's going to be annoying because it's blowing snow everywhere, and we actually are having unseasonable warmth. So if there is any moisture that's happens to precipitate, it's forming ice wherever it hits. So that kind of sucks and it was annoying. But other than that, man, how was yours? Yours was good? Pretty chill this year? Right on, man. It's got any good games this year? I have a couple of games I want to work on. Obviously, Ghost of Yota is still sitting over there, and that one's kind of at the top of my list. But Naya and I have recorded Shadow Hearts, and I know we don't have a whole lot of following for that, but it is funny. The people that keep talking to us about Shadow Hearts are people that love that franchise as is. And we recorded last time, like, I don't know, we played all day. So I think we're at the finale. I think there's one, maybe two more recordings, and that one's done. I know I put it off for like a month and a half again, but we are talking seriously about Zelda the Wind Waker this time for sure, because Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is sitting here. It's ready to go. I'm ready to play with her. We're using the original one, so we can actually duo. We can actually do a true co-op. Somebody's playing as Link, the other one's playing as Tingle. So there is that, and we are going to try and get that started. The question is, do we get it started this week? And the answer is, I don't know. We'll see how the weather is. Kirby Air Riders. I've got Kirby Air Ride sitting right over here. I don't know why I don't just take every single game from my parents' house, but maybe it's because it's organized there, and for me, I have a small antique shelf that I have all the games organized on, but it's full. So the games, like whatever new games I've got are going in behind the console, sitting here, which you're not supposed to store games next to the console in a confined space. So I already don't like that. But either way, I'm out of space to put it versus my parents' house. They've got a bookshelf that is, it's massive. And what's ironic about it is that that bookshelf contains like one row of books. That's it. Everything else is games and movies. So it's all nice and organized there versus if I brought all of my games here. And technically, I can't bring like all of them because several of those games are not mine. Well, first off, my father and mother paid for those games. So technically, you could argue none of them are mine, but they did gift them to me. So basically, I would say 30% of the N64 games, or maybe more like 60% of them, they gifted me. The other 40% they bought with intention to play them with me, or if I get bored of them, they would play them by themselves. I pretty much my entire life have been like maybe 5 games in my life I put down and said, I'm not going to finish this game. Forget it. I'm not interested. So I played pretty much everything. But 60% of the games were solely for me. And then everything prior to the N64, those were not mine, man. They bought those for themselves before I was born. They just happened to get born or they happened to give birth to me. And then I became a gamer too. So technically I can't bring those back with me, or I shouldn't. I guess, you know, if I'm looking like hopefully 45 years in the future, yeah, then I would. But either way, that's the long story short is I brought Kirby Air Ride just in case I want to show Naya the original Kirby Air Ride before I go into Air Riders. Hey, Terry freaking Bogard, how are you doing? Many usernames. Terry Bogard is your recent. Hello, Nito. I thought you didn't stream on Tuesdays, except I'm off work this week, so I decided I'll give it a go. I thought, you know what? Let's roll the dice and test it this time. Normally, I'm just at work. That's the only reason why I don't stream. But this time, I'm like, hey, it's New Year's, or it's close to. Let's roll the dice one more time. Just like Shaman. Shaman shined for me at the end of last year, I believe. I think it was last year, not this year. Yeah, it was last year. Last year, Shaman gave me one more go. I kept saying Shaman was going to be a nice spring shiny. And then I hunted it and I hunted it and I hunted it, and all of a sudden it shined in the middle of the winter, or at the end of the winter, or the end of the year, I guess, in the winter. So I was like, all right, well, you're not sticking to the season you belong in, but all right, whatever. So I decided, you know what? I started this year with Articuno. Let's move on to Zapdos. And then, you know what? The best thing in the world would be if I can see Moltres on this stream, because that means that Articuno's already shiny. Zapdos shined, and I moved on. So that would be a sweet way to end the year. I also possibly maybe will put up Kyogre as well. I've got everything set up to hunt Kyogre. It depends if I want to do it or not this stream. Last time I tried to do doubles, or a duo hunt, and my rule is I try not to hunt in the same game, just to have something going on. I mean, I've had shiny Kyogre before, so it's not like I'm hunting something new. Either way, Last time I did that, the stream crashed, actually. In fact, it was my whole computer. My computer restarted for some reason. Didn't blue screen either. It just, I don't know if it got too hot. It didn't feel like it was too hot, but I don't remember much about when that happened, to be honest. I just remember it happening. I was like, well, there goes that. So, let's see. Also, I am crazy for wanting to use a melodic on this playthrough. Well, Gen 4 wasn't as bad as Gen 3. Gen 3, it's kind of funny. Like, I remember when I had Feebas. Oh, man, dude, I was a celebrity. It was like, oh, my God, you found one. Do you know how hard that is? And then when I shiny hunted that thing, oh, my God, dude, I was a top-tier shiny hunter, particularly because there weren't that many shiny hunters. And I had a shiny Feebas. Unfortunately, no, I did not find the spot to do it. I bred the egg, but it was still a full odds breeding, but I didn't want to go through trying to find that spot because the spot only stays in Gen 3 for like, I don't know, 2 hours or so. It goes with the clock. So I had to just go, I just had to go and do it that way. I would have loved to tell people. In fact, I was a teenager. I probably lied to a few people and said, "Oh yeah, I put the nose to the grindstone on this one and did the spot," but I didn't. Let's see. Nito, I can't wait to see Random is Not So Random video. So with that one, I was going to do a YouTube shorts of it because that's already what I did with the princess one. But it has happened so many times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to gather every one of them. I've got a list. I haven't clipped out every clip, but I'm working on it. Put it that way. I'm thinking if there's 2 Smash videos left, you would think by now, this many years into it, I would put a Smash video of like actual skill, but 7 years in and I still haven't like actually practiced and tried to compete. You would think that I would actually put out a video like, oh my God, I actually was able to fight, you know, really, really good, competent matches or something like that. Instead, it's just like meme videos. Random is Not So Random. Every freaking 9 I've ever had. Anyways, let's see. Why is saying Fortnite not allowed? Fortnite is not allowed? What's, why is that not allowed? So, well, no, because it would show me. Do I have it on? Hold on, it would show me a blocked message. Let me check. Okay, so if it's not showing a blocked message, that means for whatever reason, YouTube themselves are blocking it. If it's a word that I banned, I see it, but, oh, man, I just touched the grease on the microphone stand. I keep doing that. I re-greased the mic stand and now it's nasty. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. Oh, so you're able to see it too. That's the other thing is if it's telling you that it's blocked, YouTube must really hate Fortnite. I wonder what happened. Let's see. Next was Nito. What are your thoughts on 67? Bro asked him about 67. What is 67 other than a number, obviously? Good year for the Ford Mustang. Birth of the Chevy Camaro. Other than that, I don't know. It's blocking Fortnite. Why is it blocking Fortnite? All right, Zapdos. I'm gonna hope that this is the stream, because to Archo's point, you're not the most glorious, you're not the shiniest of shinies. I mean, well, hey, let's see. Stream just crashed for you. All right, well, I guess I got to check on where are we at stream health wise. Hang on, let me make sure. Looks good to me, so I'm gonna hope that it didn't crash for anybody else. Can I get a confirmation? Anybody out there happen to give me a quick yes or no? Is the stream still alive? Looks alive to me, but at the same, I guess I could pull it up like on a it's fine now. All right, I did not get crashed. Okay, I am going to just hope that that's a one and done for you, Ivanus. Not that I'm hoping something's breaking for you, but it's better you than me, right? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. Nito is so Gen Xa. He doesn't know what 67 is. Yeah, you got me on that one. I don't even know. I can't even think of a good pun. Is 67? Oh, no, I can't say that because then I wouldn't be a teen-rated channel. I would be up in the rating. For just a sec, Zapdos looked a little different. Zapdos is kind of hard to see, so like I say, I might get that shiny paranoia a little quick. Besides that, I'm only like 200 resets into this. I haven't shiny hunted Zapdos since the last stream, and I think that last stream was last winter. But anyways, I'm so Gen X. Well, let me look it up. Let's see. Yes, Ivanus. So I can see that message is blocked, and you're going right where I said I wouldn't go, but that is the idea. I'm like, oh, maybe you guys are reinventing the wheel, except this time you're reinventing, but you get my point. Bro, you're going to get that shiny hallucination every attempt. I know, right? This one, especially when they're like this. When it's just a couple shades off, that's where it gets a little dicey about like second guessing yourself and not resetting too fast. Nito, do you like my SF6 combos on my channel? I was gonna say, there we go. I was gonna take a look. I got that saved actually. I haven't really looked in a while since, but I have seen them. Like, put it this way, I can't compete, and your skill level across the board on a lot of things, I see you are definitely a competitive player. That's very impressive. I haven't seen any of the new stuff in a little while. End of the year is definitely like, I basically don't watch videos, so I keep clicking save and I catch up on them. Like the Mac edit stuff and Square to Charge from Janinjuice, finally catching up. To be fair, Janinjuice posts like 4-hour videos, so I will set them while I'm doing a workout in the background. Since I don't have to shiny hunt anymore, I did that for what, 3 years of workouts, particularly in the wintertime. In fact, it wasn't even workouts. I take it back. It was only when I was biking that I would reset Mewtwo. So now that that's, what, 2 years ago, I think I caught that Mewtwo. I haven't actually been shiny hunting while I'm doing any kind of workouts. So when people post videos that I know, you know, people I know, they post videos, I see them, I go, oh, you know what, I'll put that on while I'm doing a workout or something. But I haven't been doing that this year. It feels like I've just devoted everything to either work or stuff around the house. In fact, there's a couple projects around the house that they're not urgent, but I would like them finished sooner than later. I mean, this house has been here for over a century, so I'm probably not going to be the person to screw it up, but there's something I don't like, and it has to do with the roof. And it's not like it's collapsing and leaking and everything. There's actually no problems right now. There's just something that I don't like about it that I'm like, okay, I'd like to get that addressed, and until I do, I'm making sure that I grab my my roof rake, and pull all the snow off of at least one spot on the roof every snowfall. Besides that, it's pretty much a substitute for the gym. Dude, roof raking is so hard on the arms. I'm like, dude, it's like no row ever could compete with roof raking. Doing rows is great. Roof raking is like hyper rowing. It's so good. And I'm sure it could probably damage me, so I will probably only do that until I'm like 50, and then I'll stop. Then someone else can take my money and they can go up there and do it themselves. Or I shouldn't say go up there. I don't want anybody going up there. Anyways, dude, you just missed a shiny Mewtwo. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I have a backup though. It's all right. Nobody was here. Nobody was here for this. And to your point, I don't think I ever missed one. But this one right here is the worst hunt I've ever had in my life. I have never had anything go... Since the odds in this game are 1 in 4,096, this guy went 10 times over odds. What the heck? That never should have happened. My estimates, of course, I did not count every encounter. My estimates maybe were off, but they're pretty solid evidence, or estimates, not evidence. Let's see, Nito, did you know they blocked YouTube on Switch too? Take that, YouTube! No, I didn't. Do you have any idea why? Why are we getting random censorship? What's going on here? Are we going backwards a few years? We've got censorship of the word Fortnite on YouTube, and now we've got YouTube actually censored on Switch too. What are we doing? What's there's probably some weird cyber laws that are getting signed. I know YouTube has been doing some strange things regarding age, and I know the reason why they're doing it is liability, but it's getting a little invasive. I mean, obviously, they have everything on me. I gave them information for tax reasons, but YouTube, that's the exception, you know? My info is going to be out there. Somebody somewhere is going to have my info for hospitals, for anything, you know? It's not like I can just prevent my info from going out there, but I just try to limit how much is out there. But for people that don't want them, like, they don't want to be like, here, this is my identification card. Let me just give it to this giant mega corporation that doesn't really need it just so I can watch some YouTube videos. That might be a little overextension. Let's see, I would buy Shining Pearl and Shiny Hunt Arceus, or I would only buy Shining Pearl to Shiny Hunt Arceus or another Pokemon. I was actually thinking about Arceus on this one today, but one, I haven't set that hunt up, and Arceus is no joke. That is not a hunt that you want to screw around with. The first time I did Arceus, I threw a Master Ball at it back in Pokemon Diamond. I don't think that was Platinum. Yeah, it was Diamond because I had to acquire the Azer flute in less conventional means than normal. I hacked it. So I had to be ready for Arceus, and to do that, yeah, just throw a Master Ball at the thing. This time I want it in a Premier Ball, except it's a tough hunt, man. He's got very low odds. You got to really know what you're doing on that one, and even then, and you could do everything perfect and still fail it. And you better believe I'm not about to fail a freaking Arceus. I haven't failed anything yet except that Dusclops, and that doesn't really count as a fail because I had Alchemy on one side, Dusclops on the other. I had to pick one shiny, so I had to leave one. That wasn't really a fail. But in 1,000 shinies, I have never, actually it's probably more like 750. I've never failed one. I'm not about to, dude. I'm not about to. All right, Nito, are you going to be able to do Super Smash Brothers Ultimate today? I didn't have plans to do it today. Get back to me tomorrow about that. Let me think about this. Let me do a little thinking. How did you get that Azer flute? Fell out of the sky. Right into my hands. Oh, by the way, he has... why is that blocked? He said PP. YouTube. YouTube's getting a little crazy on that. All right, he has really low PP. Oh, awesome. They made Giratina... Well, here's a good example, right? Yes, this is circumstantial, this is situational, this is anecdotal, but I have two videos that occurred very, very close in proximity timing to each other. One was Giratina shining for me in Brilliant Diamond. The other was Giratina shining for me in Diamond. Both... No, I'm taking it back. One was on stream, one was not. One video... Or rephrase. The new video, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Giratina was about a 5-minute video. For Giratina in Diamond, it was like a 15-minute video. That tells you everything. So I thought they were making it a lot easier. If he has low PP in BDSP, then we've got problems. Gonna have to really know what I'm doing for that hunt. No more screwing around with like, throwing it together, this'll work, you know? I have taken pretty much no hunt seriously because I didn't have to. Oh, I bumped it. I was like, what just happened? I just bumped it. I didn't have to take it seriously because I knew they were pretty easily catchable. See, it looks darker there. I was like, I could have swore for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, Zapdos, you couldn't... Like, look at... here's proof in the pudding, all right? They could have fixed Zapdos' shiny first off because Charizard got its shiny fixed. And hey, look at me, man. I actually like the Gen 2 shiny Charizard sprite better than the Black Dragon. Throwing it out there. But they showed that they're willing to switch a shiny. Now, granted, it was 25 years ago, but they're willing to switch the shiny sprite if they think it looks cooler and it's a popular Pokemon. Everybody else, fart in the wind. Good luck. If your shiny sucks, you're stuck with it for life. I digress. They have chosen not to fix Zapdos' shiny or Marshadow Bivanus. So then we move on to, well, how do we know that the shiny sucks? Well, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno's Galarian forms have really sweet shinies. That's how we know this one sucks. Could have been better. It's still not horrible. Let's see. Nito, friend me back. You unfriended me. That was probably an accident, but I'm guessing that your name is... Oh, you know what? There's two problems you probably have with that. The first one is... Well, here, send me a friend request. Let me see if I get it. I might have a full list. The second problem is I usually don't remember usernames when they're switching too much if I forget it, or I just went too fast and accidentally deleted one by accident. But send me a friend request right now. If it doesn't go through, then I got to go through my list and do that. It's been a while since I've done it, so I might be full by accident. Already sent me one? Well, wait, actually, let me do one more reset, and then I'll check it. If it didn't go through, then I got to go through my list. All right, user is Terry Bogard. Gotcha. It's like Agent 8. Do you know how many Agent 8s are on my friends list? And I'm thinking of only like one Agent 8 that still comes in here, and I'm like, oh my god, which one is it? You know? So it's hard for me to identify who's who sometimes. All right, Archer says, yeah, just lob a Master Ball at it and call it a day. I sound European. Not European, only in descent. But Chicagoan. So if you hear a little bit of an accent there, I don't have a heavy accent. I know sometimes I slip up a little bit with the word dog because people are like, why are you saying it like it's, you know, like dog with a W? Or I mean, it's my uncle says, you know, take the dog out. I'm like, I don't say dog, I say dog. But most people say dog. You know, they pronounce the whole thing. I said dog. Coffee, a cup of coffee. I don't say it too hard. I say like coffee, but and to be fair, Chicagoans usually they either say coffee like but there's a W in there, or they say caffey like there's an AH in there. So it was definitely, I didn't realize I had any accent until I realized all the words we botch. It's really not an accent either. It's just botched words. All right. I said I was going to check that and I didn't because I'm a derp. So let's see. I do have a friend request. Perfect. Terry Bogard. Accept that and don't accidentally delete that one again. My apologies for that. Where was I at in the chat? Let's see. I already sent that, got that. Nito, your friends people often. Oh, wait. Nito unfriends people often because Mr. Popular out here. Heck yeah. Actually, I am surprised. There's like a 300-person limit on that list. I didn't think I would hit that ceiling, but I did. But, other than that, let's see. I failed a shiny when I tried to use sleep move, and it ended up killing it. Try to use a sleep move. What sleep move did you use? I'm trying to think. I mean, you didn't use like you were trying to put it to sleep, right? Not like Dream Eater or Sleep Talk or any of that, right? Unless you selected the wrong. No, because why would you select a sleep move if it was already asleep, right? Do I actually look like Jason Momoa? Physically, probably not. But if I grow out my facial hair, I kind of do. But the only reason is that he's got dark, long hair. But that's because it was like dyed for the Aquaman movies. His hair is kind of a dark brown, and so is mine. And they're both because his lays flat. If he's not doing it for the movie, because in the movie it's like it's wavy. But I have been told that. But the one that I've actually been told, and I actually see it, this one, because Jason Momoa comment was 2 people, and it was weird that 2 people said it, because I was like, really? That's the second time I've heard that. The one that I have heard, it's a wrestler I look like. I'm like, I didn't see it until someone showed it to me. I'm like, oh, God. Not only does it look like me, like really, really close. Like, we are very close. But I wonder if looking at him in the future is like looking at me in the future. Like, is that where I'm going? And he wears his hair long like I do. And on top of that, he wears it nowadays, or I don't know about nowadays. I guess I haven't checked on the guy. But like in 5 years ago or so, he had it like sprawled out and crazy. And I'm like, okay, it kind of looks like mine does when I have it down, when it's just hanging free floating. So I'm like, uh-oh, I think I know what I'm going to look like in 25 years. 20 years, something about that. If you're wondering, by the way, I didn't even say the name. It was Matt Hardy. I've never failed a shiny. Archo, you and me both, my friend. I have never failed a shiny. Even that Graveler that I prepared for, what, 20 years? Yeah, about 20 years for. Because I always have a Pokemon with damp on me. And I always have a Pokemon that can change the weather for me, so that nobody can accidentally explode themselves. I added Taunt in there as well for Memento and such, but that's only for like the recent games. Either way, even then, it's like I don't walk around always with somebody with Taunt at the front of my party necessarily, but certainly a Quagsire is always nearby in my party in case I came across something that could explode. And it finally happened. It took 20 years for it to happen. A Graveler showed up full odds out of nowhere. I just shook the Wiimote. So I forgot that that's a thing. All right, there we go. So when Graveler showed up, I had Quagsire ready to go. I'm like, oh my God, it finally happened. I finally got to use the contingency plan. That was amazing. Knocked into your DS with your knee. Did it survive? I tried the 3DS, your game froze. Oh yeah, by the way, Gen 4 used to do that. I have only, so here's what's weird about that. I'm gonna go on, there goes your progress. Save early, save often. Just like voting. Oh, whoops. Anyways, my game has only ever froze one time in my entire life, and it was not Diamond version. It was actually Platinum that froze, where I was just walking along, doing my thing, and froze. And it's like, what the heck? And then I couldn't get it to unfreeze. I just had to turn off the DS and pop it out. So it was weird that that happened. The old games used to do that. Gen 4, I think, was notorious for that. I don't know about Gen 3. Gen 4 did that. Here's what's weird about that. So Platinum, that froze on me once. However, Brilliant Diamond froze on me like 3 or 4 times already. So I'm like, wait a minute, why is the new one the one that has frozen far more than the old one? Are you going? And I know why, because, yeah, Game Freak's not exactly putting 100% into all their games. And on top of that, they're kind of bad about the whole, they contracted, what was that crappy company? Not only did they contract them to do the game, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, they contracted them, but they said they're going to continue working with them. I'm like, please don't. They suck, man. I mean, call a duck a duck. That company sucks, man. They did terrible at it. They had so many glitches, it was embarrassing. You could take a box of, you could take one shiny Dialga in a box, do a very simple glitch, and have 35 shiny Dialgas in 2 seconds. After probably hacking it and various other things, walking through walls and soft locking yourself. I even walked through a wall right on a stream. You know, I went to a Street Fighter tournament, which I was going to talk to you about that earlier. I kind of just sidetracked myself from your Street Fighter videos. I do enjoy watching Street Fighter. I don't play it, same with Tekken, but I love seeing it. Especially because Tekken, I love this. Side note, the world record was broken for the oldest esports champion. I think she was 92. 92-year-old walked into a Tekken tournament and swept it. Caveat, you had to be 65 or older, so it wasn't actually truly as clickbaity as the titles were, but still, 92 years old, and she's got an esports title. Anyways, I digress. Street Fighter 6 tournament on Sunday. I got 6th place. I lost with, or lost to Diego. Or is it Daigo or Diego? But no, I know that you're absolutely sick at fighting games. I can't compete. I definitely can't. And I've tried. We have gone toe-to-toe. It does not end well for me. In fact, there's several people I can keep up with, but usually it goes against me, mainly because of an error. What's weird, like, when I play Smash with you guys, the thing that always comes down to 1v1s, I know my casual crowd. Like, Gore and myself, I put that Samus versus Ridley match because it was 2 casuals going up against each other. That's what made it so crazy. Or maybe not so crazy, just really fun. But the people that I actually can compete against, like Eoshi Gamer 1v1, what's funny about it is that I always make an error. And I'm like, why does nobody seem to make an error? And when I say make an error, it's like when you lose a match, it's because you maybe thought you'll wave dash backwards, bait out a grab or something and go for the kill, and then you actually didn't. They didn't go for the grab. You went in, they perfect shielded, and, you know, they took you out. You know, something like that. The errors I make is like attacking the wrong way. Long jumping instead of short hopping. Failing to fast fall after a short hop. Or screwing up my ledge guard, you know, or my edge guard. Or jumping off the ledge and doing an aerial to spike somebody. Or not spike somebody, because I try not to spike. Either way, screwing up off... fighting off the stage. Like, those kind of errors are the ones I make. So usually, like, if we're just hanging in there, I can hang in there for 2 minutes, and then I lose my combo, screw up a combo, face the wrong direction, something like that. I would once like to fight a match with you guys and make a simple error like, I read you wrong and you outwit me, you know, instead of just I botched my combo, I botched my controller, I used B, I hit my smash ball instead of going for the side B like I intended, things like that. Don't know who Diego is. He's the guy who made the craziest clip in Street Fighter history. I don't know who Diego is. I was going to say, that's why when you said you lost to Diego, I thought, okay, that must be a character that nobody plays. No, I don't know. Not only do I not know who Diego is in that regards, but the craziest Street Fighter clip I've ever seen was actually a scripted match between 2 players where, and it was something to do with charity. They had a full match that was choreographed to where they did like a one person takes the lead, the second person makes a comeback, and they end up tying, except it was all choreographed. That's why it was impressive, because nobody's done a choreographed match before that. Not as cinematic as that one was. That's the only clip I know from Street Fighter. And that was not 6. I think that was older than that. It's been a few years since they did that. Otherwise, I don't know anybody that actually plays Street Fighter, and I don't know any of the pro players. I don't even know the pro players in Smash Bros. I met one of the pro players who was not playing me because I was not involved in that tournament, but nonetheless, met him years ago, and I don't even remember his name. Search up who Diego is. I'll try to remember to. I'll look it up very briefly. When it comes to the esports scene, I usually don't know any of the players because, one, I'm not in esports. Usually I don't know, if I'm doing something, I'd rather just work on my games alone, let alone look at the competitive community for games that I am not involved in. But not just that. I looked up like Splatoon's esports at one point, and like half the people I looked up have been canceled or like banned from tournaments for being like super racist and crazy stuff. I'm like, dude, Splatoon is like, I always say it's the kindest community in gaming. And even then, there's a toxic esports version of that community. I'm like, oh, come on. So that's another thing I try to watch out for. Give me 1 sec. All right, got my phone. Let's see. Oh, that's his name. So it's not Diego. It's Daigo Umehara. And he is known as The Beast. Is a Japanese esports player and author who specialized in not just Street Fighter. He's in a lot of arcade games. World record holder. Okay, so this guy's up there, man. This guy's like the one example when someone says that professional gaming does turn you into a rich dude and that it is a valid career. There's like maybe 400 people on the planet that can say that. This is one of them, man. It looks like he's sponsored by everybody. Did he get shredded at some point? It kind of looks like he got shredded. Just the quick thing I'm seeing, it looks like he's sponsored by Red Bull. I did not know Red Bull sponsors esports, so props to them for that. I shook Eevee again. I keep doing that. Yeah, you just sit there for a sec, Eevee. And yeah, looks like he's the legit deal, man. He's 44. He's far older than I am, and he's taking 20-year-olds to the cleaners. All right, let me catch up in the chat here. He's the guy who made the craziest clip. Riddles was in my Street Fighter tournament. Why does Riddles sound familiar? I think it's because I knew 2 people in my life that have used Riddles or Riddle or something close to that as their username. Plus, Riddle Rosehearts is a character I'm familiar with too, so that's why that one's familiar. Let's see. He was shredded. Looked pretty shredded there. Should I use Drapion or Gengar? Drapion, I was repping Drapion forever, man. Drapion was competitively mixed results. But dang, dude, he's such a cool Pokemon, especially Paul's Drapion. That was sick. See how the Zapdos is like a bright yellow when he spawns with the electricity around him? And then very quickly, he kind of darkens up. That quick shade change of the shadows, that half-assed approach to ray tracing that I'm sure that's not what it actually is, but you get my point. That is the thing that's tripping me up because I see that and I'm like, maybe, and it's not. But it does. It does actually strike me for just a moment as like, is that a shiny? No. Can I be a Street Fighter coach? The last Street Fighter I played was, oh god, it was on PS2, and I didn't even own it. I don't own it, but that's how long ago we're talking Street Fighter. Although, since you're repping the name Terry Bogard SF6, fun fact for anybody that might be listening is I did really love that Terry Bogard, who probably vanished off the face of the earth. Terry was like, he was a cameo in games you've never heard of in terms of fighting games. And Smash Bros. Kind of somewhat maybe was the fire that put Terry back on top, because Terry freaking Bogard made it into Street Fighter, and all of a sudden Fatal Fury is back, man. It's like, I didn't even know that game existed. I forgot it existed. I was very, very, very briefly, like, I barely remembered that it was a thing. And then when Terry Bogard was put in Smash, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this, dude. I was a Killer Instinct kid, so that's where I was at. Sorry, Xbox. I never followed up with the new Killer Instinct, which is now like probably 14 years old. But I was a Killer Instinct kid, so Street Fighter, a little bit, and Fatal Fury, I remember it existed, but I had to be reminded of it. And Killer Instinct, I wasn't great at, but oh my god, dude, Killer Instinct had the final boss, which actually gave a shout out to Street Fighter. The final boss, Idol. That he smacked me up as a kid so bad that I learned some lessons about life in that experience. Have I played King of Fighters? I have not played King of Fighters, but I didn't even kind of remember that at all until Smash Bros. Then I looked back at Terry's role in that game because I kind of did not a deep dive, but a little bit of a dive onto Terry Bogard because I was like, wait a minute, who's this character they're adding? And then I'm like, oh my god, that game is old. Wow. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I remember this barely. I never played the game. Those resets are long. That's why I switched the second screen for Kyogre. Or, well, it's ready if I want it to be anyways. Have I... Oh, Mortal Kombat. Okay, I'll give you that. I not recently, but Mortal Kombat, probably the last Mortal Kombat game I played was... what was the one that came out when the PS4 was launched? They came out with one... Trying to think what it was. I lost track of that, but I did play that. Same thing. Didn't own it, but I did play it. In fact, I was going to. I liked it so much that I was going to own it, and I even told Naya that we could play it together, and then I never followed through with it. So that's on me, but that was the last one I played. I have played Mortal Kombat. And in the old school days, I played Mortal Kombat as well, but I did not commit to it. Pretty much like I guess fighting games I pretty much never committed to. I mean, I've seen and played Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom for a little while was like the hottest fighting game on the planet, dude. They had, what do they call those things? Arcade boxes or joystick boxes, where you'd show up to a tournament with a box that emulates the old school arcade buttons and plug that in. Like Marvel vs. Capcom was like on top of the planet, and even then I still never got like into it. You know what I mean? Who is... Well, I just lost that message. I shouldn't have clicked the box. I'm sorry. Let me scroll back down. Who is Anaya? Anya? Anya. I don't know. Is this a player or a character? There was a Tanya, but I don't know who Anya is. Unless you forgot the T. Is that what it was? You just missed a shiny Genesect. Oh my god, I missed a Genesect. In Gen 1, it was crazy. By the way, oh, no. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Street Fighter. I was like, there's a Tanya. No, Naya. Yeah, Naya is who I actually... So right here, when you see the profiles, she and I shared this Switch. She didn't want to get her own Switch, and we shared this Switch for years. See Naya right here? So she was my recording partner, and we go through several games. We have a series called I Can't Believe You've Never Played, where we realized our childhood/teen games, our youth games, didn't line up. So my core games, my favorite games when I was a kid, all the Final Fantasies from the golden era, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, she played none of them. The game we're working on right now that's on screen, Shadow Hearts Covenant, I never even heard of Shadow Hearts before her. She loved The Wolf with the Paintbrush. Help me out here. Okami, I couldn't think of the name. She loved Okami. I knew the game was out there, I never played it. And I knew it was regarded as a good game, but I never played it. And then she never played Mario Sunshine or Luigi's Mansion from GameCube days. Those games were great for me. Legend of Zelda, she played none of them. So we just record a lot of things together. No, she taught me what I know about editing. In fact, she used to edit most of my videos. I would say the last time she edited videos was back in Violet. So yeah, she hasn't edited any of my videos since Pokemon Violet. She did really, really well with editing, but I told her to keep it simple so she didn't spend all day on it too. She kind of taught me everything about audio as well. She's a video audio person, so But she also taught me, like, you can, well, she also taught me save early, save often. Same thing, Archo. Save your work after, like, every freaking edit, because if the program closes or crashes for any reasons, you might lose an hour of going through edit stuff. So, and basically, that's who that is. She taught me everything I know about editing, and the Splatoon series, I edited those super edits, is kind of my payoff of that. Well, I also edited a lot of the Pokemon as well. Like, Survival Nights, I edited that too. Bow, bow. I just saved because of that. Yeah, well, you should see when I'm editing videos. I will literally cut out a little clip here, cut out a little audio here, and it's like I'm hitting Control S after almost every action, just in case. And it hasn't burned me yet, but I have had it where the program stops responding for some reason, or, you know, whatever, and I actually lose like 2 minutes of work or something, and I'm like, oh, thank God I saved this. Why do I keep resetting the software? My friend, I am resetting this software until I get a shiny Zapdos to spawn. So soft resetting means, although this is not soft resetting, I can't actually call it soft resetting. Back in the day, hard resetting meant hitting the power button off and turning it back on. Since now it's software based, it's basically I'm hard resetting. Soft resetting would be like a quick trigger. On the old Game Boy games, there used to be soft resets where pressing Start, Select, LR at the same time, and it would just take you back to the starting screen again. Since I have to close the software, this really isn't a soft reset. Either way, I'm soft resetting until it shines. It's kind of monotonous, and it's beautiful. Been doing it for 20-some years. In fact, I should celebrate my shiny hunting anniversary. I think I was going to make that a thing, because I don't know the day. I have no idea when I actually soft reset. Well, yes, soft reset. I don't know the day that I soft reset that Lugia and started shiny hunting. But I figure I should celebrate it because there's like no one from the Gen 2 days that still shiny hunts. I've never met anybody that was shiny hunting back in Gen 2 when it came out. Granted, it wasn't new. Crystal had came out, and Crystal was out for a little while. That's why I did all my shiny hunting on Silver and then moved it to Crystal. But that was the days that I started off shiny hunting, and I've been doing it ever since. So basically just reset and reset and reset until this happens. This guy took me way too much. So instead of the... actually, are you even familiar with what shiny Pokemon are if you don't play too much Pokemon, where it's an alternate color palette? So Mewtwo normally has a purple tail here, and this one doesn't. He has a green tail. This Articuno is... Actually, you see the star under its name, Articuno, that red star. That's what indicates that it's a shiny, so it's a different color. This one's basically just a little lighter. Tentacool normally has red eyeball thingies, goo thingies, and a red crest. This one's green. But then like, Ditto is a good example. So Ditto normally looks like that. If it's shiny... Whoops, not that. I don't know why I marked regular. That wasn't the 5 IV. Where are you at? Dear Lord, I know I never got rid of these Dittos, but where's the shiny one at? I don't even know where I put him. Why didn't I put him at the end? You know, I shiny hunted that 6 IV Ditto for nothing. I was going to use it to breed and possibly mess around with shiny hunting again. Let me just do this until I find the red star. There. So there's the blue Ditto. The only Pokemon I know is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which, by the way, I would have loved it. They should have added more Pokemon. We only have up till Gen 7. Gen 8 launched after Smash Ultimate. It would have been so cool to throw a few Gen 8 Pokemon in there. I would have loved it. And a couple extra assist trophies. Unfortunately, they already had their hands full. Alrighty. So that's the intention. And if I want to, like I say, if the vibe is feeling it, and maybe I will in a little bit, I'll switch the screen to look like that, and I'll throw up my Nintendo DS screen on there as well, because I was working on Kyogre in Sapphire. I hunted Kyogre many, many, many years ago, and I may continue hunting it again. We'll see. I would explain, but it's really long, what I'm doing in that game that I think is a unique hunt that people don't go for, because something's broken in that game that I'm actually using as my disadvantage instead of an advantage. Let's see. In Smash 6, they added more. In Smash 6, do you mean Street Fighter 6? They added more Street Fighter characters, or Fatal Fury, or King of Fighters. Hold on, they are added. Are you saying should they? I think we got some breakdown there in tense. They are adding it. I mean, Smash 6 ain't even confirmed yet. It's confirmed. All right, I'm gonna take a look here. I'm interested. It's confirmed. I would love to see. Let me see this. Smash Bros 6. Unless you're talking Smash, like, is there another game same Smash? Actually, wait a minute. Work on. So you are probably looking at some leaks. However, I am interested. There seem to be a there's a number of leaks that are saying that Smash Bros 6 is definitely coming. So I see what you're talking about. It's confirmed, except it's not confirmed because they're leaks. I want to remind you that at least 50% of all leaks are absolute crap. They are inaccurate. The Switch Pro, I was calling those leaks out for 4 years. Switch Pro never happened. It wasn't until the Switch 2 that finally everybody that lied about the Switch Pro was finally able to say, hey, this thing came out. Dynamaxing, remember Gen 8, Gen 8, everybody was like, Armored Evolution is coming. Pokemon are going to get Armored Evolution. The closest we got was not Gen 8, the base game. It was the Isle of Armor. And everybody got that wrong. I mean, there's so many freaking false leaks. So just be careful what you're reading about out there. However, your dad works at Nintendo. Oh my God, perfect. Absolute source. Absolute source. That's like the kid that says, my dad works at Chuck E. Cheese's, and you're like, oh, your dad works at Chuck E. Cheese. And he pulls up in a Bentley. Yeah, he's the SEO. Hi, buddy. My cat has come to grace us with his presence and maybe meow for the... Never mind, he just rolled over. I was going to say maybe he can meow for the mic. But no, it does appear there's a lot of leaking going on. There's a lot of leaks that came up on a quick search. And if they're coming up on a standard Google search, the leaks are kind of taking off, if you will. There are people out there that are leaking people that screw over their teams, if you will, and choose to leak the information that they're working on. So that is something that does happen. And I wish that, honestly, I wish that people got in trouble for that. Because like I say, if I was developing something, a software, a game, proprietary technology, and my coworker leaked it, I'd punch him. I just condone violence, but hey, can't change everything about yourself. I would literally punch somebody for leaking my work. Either way, if it's coming up on a general search like that, then there's a good chance that somebody somewhere has definitely credibly said there's a leak. Now, is it credible information? I don't know, but it's definitely a leak that people think has reason to suspect it's real. Now, here's the other thing you got to watch out for. Content creation. If a leak comes from my cat, content creators are making videos on it because that is content, and they are content farming. Whatever they can make a dollar off of, whatever they can put ads on and clickbait you into clicking it, they're gonna do it. So my cat Vex gives them a leak. Every content creator just made a YouTube short on it, man. So you gotta watch out for that too. Leaks that are actually BS gain life from content creators. Is that sarcasm? No, the Chuck E. Cheese comment, that's absolutely true. It's a joke, it's not a real scenario, but the idea is that it sounds like if you say you work at Chuck E. Cheese's or you work at McDonald's, it's like, oh, okay, somebody's going to immediately judge you harshly on your career choice just to find out you're the secretary of financial for the entire corporation and you're wealthy. It's a real life, it's a leading statement. All right, let's see what Archer says. My uncle confirmed that the Nintendo Switch 67 is coming soon. I would say that the Nintendo Switch 64 is the hypest thing on the planet. And it's a nod back to the N64 days. So that's why it's totally going to be called the Switch 64. He's friends with Miyamoto. Ha! I know that that's not real because Miyamoto doesn't have any friends. I'm just kidding. He's constantly like out getting pictures with people that are really high up in the gaming development world. Sakurai, development of Smash Bros. Man, Sakurai gets around in terms of like going out and having drinking buddies, casual drinks with people who have developed some of the greatest games on Earth. I think he oh God, why I can't think of names very well. This is an everyday thing for me, so it's not a bashing of him, but I forgot who made Death Stranding. Help me out here. It's killing me. I can't think of his name right now. Help me out. If you guys can't, then I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna look it up before you do. Let me see who made Death Stranding. I can't remember. What is his name? Boom, boom, boom. Kojima. Jeez, why couldn't I think of that, dude? That name was gone from my dictionary in that moment. Kojima. So Kojima, like Sakurai was out randomly, just like on a Saturday, like posting a selfie of himself, like, hey, just having some drinks with some friends, and there's Kojima sitting there, and there's like all these game developers that are top developers that have created some of the greatest franchises in gaming, and they're just like casually having drinks. I love that because that's probably how the best ideas get made. My cat has now invaded my personal space. Hi, buddy. If you want to purr, I'll put the mic right in your fur. Which is not very sanitary because then I have to inhale and breathe into this mic. Well, I mean, Naya has taught me this, not to exhale into the mic, only breathe like away from the mic. I try, but I fail most of the time. What do you mean Miyamoto doesn't have any friends? Yeah, I know, he's... he sends his friends to shut down Smash Melee tournaments. That's right. Dude, do you have any idea? No, I mean, not to go on a tangent here, but do you have any idea how legendary Nintendo would have been if they sent the people physically to shut those tournaments down? But instead of, like, imagine that they show up, right? People that have a say in that when they physically hand you a cease and desist letter, which they don't physically, they usually contact you by email or something. Very rarely do they actually shut the tournaments down. How hype would Nintendo be if Nintendo showed up to your Smash tournament with the people that shut it down, and then they just rip their suits off, and they have like Smash Bros t-shirts on, and they whip out game controllers and enter your tournament instead of shutting it down? There are two roads they could have taken with those. They chose to send the Nintendo ninjas to copyright people when they could have embraced it, man. They could have gone way different on that. Those poor guys are the reason why. I mean, and Nintendo, honestly, this is the weird part. Nintendo is actually a great place to work. They have low turnover, and they increase salaries quite often depending on what the global economy is doing. So they actually they have published many times on their stockholders reports, and this is what's weird. I read their shareholders reports. It's public information. They talked about the Switch 2 before it was even out, and nobody was reporting on that. Like, they're answering questions about the Switch 2 and potential hardware and software development. I'm like, dude, where's all the leakers now? They just published it in a financial report. Nobody is talking about this. So that was what was funny about those. Either way, they have talked in those reports multiple times about how they prioritize employee salaries over dividend pays for the stockholders. So Nintendo, similar to Capcom, is one of the best developers to work for. You want to stay working for them. They stay full-time. They don't work on a project and then leave to another company. So on that side, Nintendo's got a big W. And then there's the, hey, I know you're having a Smash Bros tournament for disabled people. We're going to shut you down on the day of. So pack up your bags, everybody get out of here, or we're going to shut you down. It's like, that was the point where I'm like, okay, you guys are at a solid neutral, but you got to understand, there's a massive minus and a massive plus that are equaling out for this neutral. I don't know why they did that. They could have been like the most legendary company. Everybody would love them, but you know, they went the other way with that. Pal World is a great example. Pal World appears to be a really fun-looking game. It's a meme game with a lot of effort into it. Yes, they stole from Legends Arceus, but that doesn't mean that they didn't come up with something great. But what they did do that I didn't appreciate is obviously stole Nintendo's art, and people showed with line structures on the animation that they did steal from Nintendo for the art. Granted, I can't say that statement entirely. Pal World actually did can a couple of their I guess they're called pals. I don't know if that's actually what they're called. Either way, they canned, like, one of them was Luxray, except it was a different color. It was so obviously stolen. Nobody should have done that. But then Nintendo comes along and sues them for something that they don't even have grounds on, but they have a lot of money. So I'm like, you guys are... Why? Your PR department, Nintendo, your PR department is where all your issues are. Because otherwise, as a company, you pretty much do everything right, except maybe Pokemon, because Game Freak goes cheap, even though they have more money. They have the biggest franchise on Earth, literally. It's even bigger than Hello Kitty and bigger than Star Wars. And yet, they cut corners on their games all the time in development. But that's not exactly Nintendo. Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know if that's Nintendo's call or what. I don't know how involved they are with that. All I know is Nintendo makes really good decisions, and then they make really bad decisions like you just said. They priced Galaxy at $60 when they didn't have to, and they know it's going to work. That's why they're like, hey, we know we're going to make money on this, and at the end of the day, they answer to the stockholders. And worse, it's Japanese stockholders. So they know that these shareholders are their #1 priority, unfortunately. And except for the part where they said that they're prioritizing employee salaries over that. That's what's so confusing about Nintendo, why they make such a really freaking cool judgment call on one side and then the dumbest freaking thing on the other. Just, they need a different PR department, man. Nito equals the best streamer. Your words humble me, truly. No, I'm glad that you guys want to spend some time with me and talk and chat about random crap like this. It really is awesome. I'm not one of these giant streamers, you know. I'm not doing... first off, I don't use a face cam, and if you're not going to use a face cam, you have to have a really eloquent, awesome voice and be very charming and have a VTuber model. I have none of these things. So you guys humble me by enjoying my stuff and enjoying that. I mean, very rarely do I do single-player content, and that's why I'm like, okay, maybe I have a degree of entertainment to me, because... Fire Emblem, Shiny Hunting, these things are all enjoyable, and I have a lot of fun with you guys. So, where is Let's? In Discord, probably. Let's see. They keep butchering it. Also, yeah, Pokemon, they cut a lot of corners. I don't know why they do that. It's embarrassing, actually. I love the franchise. And yeah, I'm that guy. Although Legends is going to be the first one in a while I didn't buy new. Legends ZA. I'm going to buy that used, man. I don't want to buy it new. Dude, I've been talking about random stuff with you for over 4 years now. It's a great time here. Heck yeah. Ivanus had a doctor's appointment and came back. Check it out. Ivanus, welcome back. I hope your appointment went well. No, Archo, it's been a great time. It's my Shiny streams are too inconsistent. I thought they wouldn't be. I thought they would be more consistent. In fact, just in general, I guess it's just because streaming is not exactly a priority in life, so I try not to put other things on the back burner in the name of streaming and all that, but I would wish that I had done a little more. Shiny streams seem like they pop up every 3 or 4 months, and I wanted one like every week almost. Terryline, Buster Wool or Buster Wolf, because I don't remember him saying that, or Power Guys. Oh, that's no, is that what he's saying when he does the neutral in Smash Bros? Buster Wolf? Is that what he's saying? I guess I never actually asked what he was saying when he does that, but now it makes sense in my head. I'm like, oh, what if he's putting his hand down with that flame that's coming out and saying Buster Wolf? That would explain a few things. I never looked up what he was saying, but if that's the case, I love that. I mean, I remember that first stream I joined. It was the Brilliant Diamond stream where I got Dialga. Yeah, that was me flexing my Gen 4 blood, man. That was a fun one. And then again for Giratina, Shaman, you got to experience Shaman. Shaman was something that I never did a Shaman hunt ever. That was the first time, so I got to experience that with you. I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember the first stream I joined. It was many years ago. Are you okay, Buster Wolf? No, he says, "Are you okay, Buster Wolf?" I like that one, but let me look up what move that is, because I don't know which one that was. And Darkrai, of course. Darkrai was sick, dude. Looks so good in this game, and I didn't Master Ball it. I decided I wanted a Dusk Ball. I think they should make, if they have a Dusk Ball already, I feel like they should have made a Dawn Ball. Or what was the way that, I'm trying to think what it was. The green flash that Pokemon explained midday form with Lycanroc. Like a Twilight Ball. That would be really cool. I got an ad when I got the Shiny. Oh, God, YouTube, I really love, you know, I guess I need to see if there's a manual ad thing. Like I could run to the kitchen and play an ad. I'm sure there is. I just don't know. Well, let me take a look. We've got a new interface for YouTube. I'm curious. Does it actually tell me that? Newer activity. I'm just curious if playing ads is something that is there. I don't see anything, but I'm curious. I might look into... Oh, wait. Insert ad. Okay. Delay ads. Okay. So I don't know. I don't think these were there before they did their update about a month ago, but I'm going to take a look at this, Archo. If something crazy happens, there is a delay ad button, so I can actually push off ads and make sure they don't play so that that doesn't happen anymore. I'm going to utilize that function a little bit so that you don't have to worry about that again, because that is a horrible, horrible time. Like, I can't believe that. That's like, Twitch got a lot of flack for doing that back when Twitch was doing the thing where they play ads in the middle of streams, and that was prior to this, not a thing. In fact, where do you think YouTube got the idea? And that pissed off a lot of people, but they said, oh, well, this is just how things are from now on. So at least I have a delay button. I'm going to utilize this. All right, Nito, the Buster Wolf move is the one where you have to go, you have the go meter, and you do a straightforward motion to the, oh, that's the Buster Wolf. What's the neutral B for him? In Smash Bros, that is. What's that move? All right. Here we go. I don't know why I had a good feeling about this one, but nope, nothing. Yeah, I feel like Power Wave, that's what it was. Yeah, he does say that, Power Wave. Okay, I take it back. I think I have heard that before. I just forgot. Power Wave is that move. I got you. Let me double check and make sure. Let me check this really quickly. All right, I was just looking at one thing to make sure everything's good on the stream health. So, yeah, that's horrible. I can't believe you got an ad and you see Purple Darkrai. Who was it that came in too? I even put him in the video. Somebody came in for their very first stream of mine ever, like 2 encounters before Darkrai, and said, I give you shiny luck. And Darkrai spawned, and I was like, so he actually thought it was pre-recorded because all of a sudden this Darkrai was on screen until I always shout out who's in the chat at the time so I can remember. And he was like, oh my God, I thought this was recorded. Like, I just came in and you find it? I'm like, dude. All right, let's see. The worst legendary shiny / mythical shiny, both separate. All right. Worst legendary ever for shinies. Zapdos is definitely up there as one of them. Heatran could have been better. Let's see. Who else do I have? Mewtwo's shiny is a vibrant change, but it kind of sucks because they just changed his tail color and his eyes. I would have preferred, like, basically Pokken. I would have preferred Mewtwo from Pokken. So Mewtwo's kind of up there. I mean, look at Mew. Mew turned blue, right? Why didn't Mewtwo turn blue? He's got his DNA. Half his DNA comes from Mew. The other half comes from Blaine. And if you think I'm joking, I'm not. Look it up. So he should have turned blue. So I'm going to say Mewtwo's up there. Zapdos is definitely up there. I don't like subtle palette changes. Heatran, very subtle palette change. And then I'm going through the rest of them in my head. The Tapus have pretty good shinies. One of them doesn't. Trying to think who it is. Tapu Koko has a really good one. Tapu Lele, Tapu Bulu has... Yeah, Tapu Bulu sucks, I think. So we're going to throw that one on there. And when it comes to mythicals, I would say I wish Deoxys had a better one. Deoxys turns gold, and it doesn't really... Like, he turns from really cool and creepy and badass looking to kind of just gold, and why did you turn that color, you know? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Marshadow. Marshadow has a pretty rough one. Marshadow could have been cool. That a second Marshadow form, like, the Marshadow could have been awesome. And then shinies that are mythical. Jirachi has a cool one. I like Jirachi's. But Deoxys kind of just, it's like, I don't know, gold shinies just, they struggle. The only one I feel like pulls it off is a little bit Arceus and a little bit Giratina. Actually, a lot Giratina. Giratina is like one of the coolest shinies ever. And nobody argues that. Fun fact, when I started watching your streams, I was in the worst spot I've been in life, so I appreciate you for showing up at such a dark time, dude. I'm glad that I could offer that to you. I'm glad that I could mean a lot in dark times. That's... I guess that was something that I always wondered if that was ever going to happen, man. If I was going to be that comfort streamer or that friend that comes along at the right time, and like, it's all I could say is like, I'm glad, man. I really am. It's awesome that I know that now. That's you may have mentioned that prior to. I just don't know if it was like as much. I guess I didn't put the exact connection through that I meant that much. That's awesome, dude. That's as much as I could say. Like, there's only one other person I know of that was like, I was their comfort streamer. I'm like, wow. You know, I do this as a fun little hobby, but the people that stream are usually like, you see them adding stuff to their streams all the time and trying to go next level and trying to get like companies to sponsor them and things like that. For me, I've just been doing the same thing for like 7 years straight. The only thing I know how to do better is the audio mixing. So much has changed, like so much stuff I never thought would happen. I can't really say that. Like, I feel like I haven't changed a whole lot in 5 years other than just career growth and personal growth, which, hey, what more could I ask for? But there's definitely a lot of things I wish I had done, but at the same time, it's not like I can't start doing them, and somewhat to an extent am doing. Give Marshadow a Mega, that would have been sweet, and show the Shiny, then I'll buy Legend ZA. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. I haven't looked at all of the new Megas, but I've seen a couple of them, and yeah, they should have definitely... I heard Flygon didn't get a Mega, and I'm like, dude, why? Why? How long am I streaming for? We could go for a couple more hours. I mean, I'm still thinking I might put Kyogre up on the screen here pretty soon. I was thinking about pouring another cup of coffee, coming back, and throwing in Sapphire alongside here. I haven't even addressed really the streaming topic was, hey, 2025 playthroughs, games. What do you guys got going on, and what games did you fancy? I didn't have a whole lot of new playthroughs, but the games that I have played, like Shadow Hearts, we're almost done with Shadow Hearts. Shadow Hearts has been a fun one for me. That was all of 2025. Yeah, we delayed it for a little while, but that's been a great one. Sorry, hiccups there. Let's see. Went to college. Didn't think I was going to go at the time. I was in the same position back in the day. Like, it was the crossroads, because high school wasn't really going great in terms of like, I thought I was the smart kid, but it turns out I was just the above average kid. So I was looking up at the prodigies, the people that were going to go on to engineer space shuttles and things like that, and I thought I could never be one of them. To an extent, I guess I landed where I wanted to be. I always wanted to do quirky science, something that's not, hey, I engineer race cars. Like, that's, everybody wants to be in the engineering world and mechanical engineering. My God, everybody saw themselves getting into auto. They did not see themselves getting into dishwasher modules or working on microwaves. That's where a lot of engineers end up. With all of those talents and all of that education, they end up engineering something important, but also not glorious. So I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to engineer cars. I wanted to do something quirky, and that's exactly where I ended up. Didn't think that was going to happen, though, so for a little while it was like, oh, maybe I should just go get a job, you know? Let's see, I became a Christian last year, which I never thought was going to be happening ever 4 years ago. That's, I guess, if there's anything, I'm very critical in my personal life, honestly, sometimes about this species. But if there's one thing we got going for us, it's that you never know where life's going to take you. 2025, I got my last roaming shiny. I will never get my next roaming shiny. It'll never shine for me. It's been 20 years. What was it, by the way? We were talked about this because you were going to go for one of the Eons, right? Either Latios or Latias. I should play Roblox. I'm going to say Roblox has been out for 20 years and I haven't played it yet. I'm guessing I'm probably not gonna based on my backlog, but never say never. I just said you never know where life's going to take you. You went for Latios, didn't you? I believe yeah, I think you went for Latios. I remember talking with you about this because I was like, you said Latios or Latias. I'm like, Latios is going to take it for me. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pour some coffee in the cup here and come back, and we'll throw Kyogre up on the screen. Do a little double hunt. I love just having the DS sitting out here anyway, so I figure if I'm gonna do a 6-7-year-old game, then might as well throw a 20-year-old game in there on top of it. 25. Have I ever played Gran Turismo, the racing game? Yes, is my answer. I did play a little bit of Turismo 4, which I believe was the hyper-realistic one that was on PS4. If there's been one since, I have not. But I did play a decent amount of Gran Turismo 2. And here's the fun fact for you. Gran Turismo 2 came with my PS2 when I bought it. Or I guess my parents bought it for me. That's how long ago it was. Gran Turismo 2 came with it. So for a little while, it was... in fact, I remember exactly. I know I can tell you exactly what the first 2 games... Am I right? We'll try. I'm going to try and delve into my memory here. The first 2 games I got... The first 3 games I got, sorry. The first 3 games that I got for the PS2. One was Gran Turismo 2. And I remember fighting tooth and nail to get some stupid time trial completed so that I could unlock Indy cars. And it was like the hardest thing on the planet. The other game that I think came with the PS2 as well was, it was called ATV something. I don't remember. It was ATV Racing. It was an ATV game. And it was pretty fun, actually. I just didn't play a lot of it. The third game I got, oh, this one was good, man. Jak 2, the sequel to Jak and Daxter. Oh, that was sweet. What a game that was. So those were, I believe, the first 3 PS2 games I had. The 2 that came with it. Or, I don't remember if they came... Yeah, I know they came with it. I just don't know if maybe my dad bought them thinking, hey, that looks fun, I'll play that. I couldn't tell you for sure because I wasn't there when he bought it. Should I keep focusing on getting the Shiny Charm? Or Shiny Charm for Shield, or hold on. Should I keep focusing on getting the Shiny Charm for Shield, comma, to get the Shiny Charm? Focus on getting the Shiny Charm for Shield to get the Shiny Charm. So I'm somebody that says less time on the Shiny Charm, more time on the full odds. I just dive right in. It's burned me a few times though. So if you want to get burned, don't do it. If you want to make shiny hunting has gotten a lot more commercial per se. It's become mainstream. So I would say if you're looking to build the collection, get the charm. If you're looking to build the story of the hunt or just be a knucklehead like me, skip it. I think I had a stroke while writing that. Yeah, stroke, aneurysm, something. Hey, if you're stroking out, you know, just make sure that left lip is still able to smile and you'll be okay. Let's see, I saw your TikTok dance yesterday. It was funny. Yeah, that's definitely real news for sure. Fun fact, I don't even have TikTok. I probably should make a TikTok just to make sure no one gets the name, but I didn't want to have a TikTok, and I probably never will. I'll stick to... In fact, it's the same as YouTube. I don't make content on Twitch, Kick. I don't make content anywhere, honestly. And most people would say, well, that's not how you grow your career. I'm all eggs in one basket on this one, man. I'm going to have a small, tiny little streaming career, and it's hitting right where I want it to be, man. It's right where I want it to be. I mean, the legendary hunts for Shield. For the legendary hunts for Shield. They're only in the DLC can you shiny hunt. But hey, I went full odds into Gigas, and I got Regigigas, man. So I would say no. Your odds are already 1 in 4,000. I would start going. You're talking about Regidrago, Regieleki, and all the Regis and all that. I would say dive right in. Don't shiny hunt Spectrier. That stupid horse is shiny locked. Calyrex is kind of dumb. I hate it anyway. Or I don't hate it. I just dislike the Pokemon anyway. But it's shiny locked as well. Urshifu, shiny locked. Basically everything cool, shiny locked. Everything awesome, shiny locked. In fact, I don't even know why they shiny lock. It's just, that's me swinging my arm. That's why you see Pumpkin the Eevee on screen, because I literally just threw my arms up because I'm like, shiny locks. Makes no sense. They did it for no reason at all, just to screw people like me over because they thought, I don't know what they thought. The only thing I can think is that they shiny locked Pokemon so they could do giveaways and get you to go to the store. Let's see. If you're going for Dynamax Adventures, then get the Charm. Oh, that's right. No, the Shiny Charm doesn't work in Dynamax Adventures, right? I'm 90% sure it doesn't work on Dynamax Adventures. That or it's Dens. It doesn't work in Dens. Somewhere in there it doesn't work. Nito changes his topic from Pokemon to World War II. Maybe I could delve into both topics at the same time, like Pokemon. Obviously, they had a war with, God names. The dude that's got the shiny Floette, except it's a special Floette. Now he's 100 some years old or 1,000 years old. He's the crazy old grandpa. He's in ZA, he's in XY. His name starts with an A, and I can't think of it right now. Maybe I'm stroking out too, Ivanus. Anyways, so we can delve into that war, and then we can delve into Lieutenant Surge. Obviously fought in some kind of weird war that we never mentioned again. What was it? Was it productive? Was Sinnoh finally conquering Kanto? All right, let's see. Don't say the leader. I mean, I am American, so to me, the leader was a guy, you know, he was the true man of the... I'm just kidding. There's no winner in war. We all know that. Shiny odds in DAs are 1 in 300 with no charm. Really? They're that good? No wonder I got double shinies at one time. And by the way, I've never found a shiny legendary in Dynamax Adventures. I don't know why. I should go back to Dynamax Adventures. I kind of want to, just because I said I wasn't going to shiny hunt too much. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, I don't know. It was just like, it seemed silly to me, shiny hunting like that. I don't like my random cave DLC, pay me money and you can have all these legendaries from past games. I'm not a big fan of that, so I wasn't going to shiny hunt. At the same time, Yveltal would be really cool in Dynamax Adventures to have a shiny of, and why have I never found a shiny in Dynamax Adventures? So, but it explained how I was able to get Alchemy and Dusclops at the same time. 1 in 100 odds with the charm, dude. Just get rid of that whole 1 in 8,000 thing. Shinies are no longer earned, man. Just throw them at people. Which, it makes sense, honestly. I'm not complaining. It makes sense to make shiny hunting more casual. At an arcade one time. I have not. I have not. Strange question, but yep, I have definitely not. Let's go Eevee, let's go Pikachu, yes. Although, let's go Pikachu I don't own, but Island? No, not so much. The encounters take forever, though. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's different than wormhole hunting. I'll give you that. It's a little more earned than that. You got to think a little bit, and maybe do a little bit of memorization, touch of strategy, and then a little bit of luck. So I'll give you that. It's a little more earned than wormholes. All right, let's see. Shiny odds, got that. It does work in Dynamax Adventures. Okay, so I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking then. There's something that the shiny charm doesn't work, and I was like, what game was it? I can't remember what it was. Possibly Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl? I'm trying to remember what it was. Shining Pearl? Okay, that was what it was then. Perfect. Let's see, Nito, those were very iconic games at the arcade made by Sega. Hang on, let me take a look. Remember, oops. Kicking mics. I was not from the arcade era. That doesn't help. Because, like Killer Instinct, I didn't even know it was an arcade game for years. I just saw it, or I didn't even see it, sorry. It was my parents that bought that game. I played it. It wasn't until years later I found out it started as an arcade game before it went to the Super Nintendo. It doesn't look shiny to me. Alright, I'm going to reset this and look it up. Alright, let's go Jungle and Island. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, you got me on this one. I've never seen this. Wait a second, have I? Give me just a sec here. Come on, connect. There we go. That's the other annoying thing about Let's Go. I'm glad they didn't do that. Pokemon Let's Go did this whole connection wasting time thing. Work on getting that shield charm. Archo has sword, I have sword, so if you need anything, let us know. Alright, let me see something really quickly here. There's a very specific reason I'm looking at this. I thought maybe I have seen this game before, but I have not. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw it previously. I thought I knew somebody that may have actually played that, and it was not. Oh yeah, you gotta fight Barry. Dude, I loved when I thought Volo was a descendant of, or I'm sorry, an ancestor to Barry based on his hair. That shock when it was like, oh my god, Volo is Cynthia's ancestor, not Barry. That blew my mind. I'm so glad I recorded that. All right, let's see, where was I at? Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen those games. I just looked them up, and they are not familiar at all. To be fair, though, like I say, arcades, when I was a kid, the only arcades I can think of were at, there was like 2 arcade games at a game store, and there were like 6 or 7 arcade games that were at the bowling alley. And then beyond that, as an adult, Dave & Buster's has a bunch of arcade games, but those are not classic arcade games, they're new. All right, I'll go a few more resets, and then I think I'm going to go get some coffee, and you know what? I'll throw Kyogre up on the screen. We'll get this going. That DS is asking to be played, so I'm going to do it. Hopefully pretty soon here, maybe in the next few days even, because I've been somewhat editing a couple things, but Pokemon X, I might start that in the next few mornings. What is my typical Starbucks order? For me, number one, I usually don't go to Starbucks, not being that guy, but usually I go local. But if I do go to Starbucks, usually I just get mocha. I'm a chocolate and more chocolate kind of person. Yeah, I'm one of those, how do I say it tamely? One of those basic dudes. Peppermint mocha in the winter and pumpkin spice latte in the October. Yeah, I do it. I go for it, and I own up to it. There's a longer phrase for it, but I won't say it. It's not super inappropriate, but just to be careful. Calling myself a basic dude. Wait, let's just make sure. Honestly, I don't want Zapdos to fool me, so I'm not going to reset. If that one didn't look shiny, but, you know, resetting over it would be horrible. The only thing I have to go off of is the Zapdos I have on the screen there. The little tiny Zapdos. By the way, I didn't even check the audio. Does everything sound okay? I wanted to make sure. There was a Smash stream when I was, I went back like 2 streams. I was keeping clips well, sort of. For the stream highlights video, I was not keeping too many clips. It was actually kind of the opposite. I wasn't clipping stuff through the year. So, but then when I put all the clips together that I had, it was about 10 minutes. I thought, yeah, let me do that. I made a video like the 2024 or 2023 stream highlights video was like 25 minutes long. And that had the least attention. And I thought, okay, I'm not going outside the algorithm. You know, I'm not trying to play the algorithm with these videos. These videos are, nobody outside of my own viewer base is going to click on them. So when they saw a 25-minute video and had the lowest views out of all the years of stream highlights, I assumed it was because that's too much. That's too long. That's too many clips. So I was happy with 10 minutes, even though I knew that I wasn't clipping stuff through the year as often as I normally do. I digress. I went back a couple of streams in Smash Bros. To grab that clip that Gore and I had, and the audio was perfect on that, man. That was absolutely perfect. It also helps because I saw your name, particularly the Terry Bogard, pop up in chat multiple times with things in chat. So I can basically scroll through the chat log and see when you were saying things like clip this, clip that, clip me, you know, clip. I was like, okay, what was this? What was this? A lot of them were those repeat matches. The random is not random. I'm like, well, those are getting their own thing. So I'm like, I'm not going to clip those. But it is kind of funny if I do have to go back and clip something, I can check the chat and see exactly what we wanted. Actually, there was last Smash Bros. Stream, there was something that I was going to clip or check anyways. I put a 1 in chat. Whenever I want to check something that was in stream, yeah, I know you can timestamp it on the app here, but instead of doing that, I just throw it in the chat so I can do it right on YouTube. Either way, I put something there, a marker, and I never went back to see what it was. That side order build was great, man. I was like, I was looking through some side order stuff, because as it turns out, side order is not particularly difficult. At least late game it's not, because once you've made a few runs, you start getting bonuses with Pearl at the start, or I mean Marina, and you get more lives, you get more power. Basically, every run becomes easier. So I was looking at people who were kind of building like strategic builds rather than throwing it together. And when I noticed your build was not a build I've seen people doing, like at least not intentionally, I thought, okay, that's going in. Archo built this ridiculous build and it worked. In fact, a video was suggested while I was doing that by somebody who said, can you win side order with just using the Pearl drone alone? And I'm like, that's basically what Archo did, and it worked. So yes, the answer is yes. It was great. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely going in there. You like the longer stream highlights video? Maybe I'll try this year. 2026, I'll promise. I gotta stop shaking the controller. 2026, I will try to get about the 15-minute mark. Yeah, the Smash moments this year were longer, actually. I tried to basically clip stuff that was context driven instead of just like there are still a couple in there, but I noticed I did less this year than I have done in years past. Like the perfect dodge of the baseball bat. That clip was something that was like 6 seconds, you know. I decided that, and if I used it in years past, like basically I decided if I put it as its own video, a YouTube short or something like that, I'm not going to repeat it. I somewhat did that this time. There were a couple clips that I did without the shorts, or they were in YouTube shorts. I just used the raw clip without any editing of the shorts themselves. Are you family friendly? I'm self-imposed rating of teen, so like TV 15, if you would, you know, like PG 15. Basically, no hyper mature jokes, but tamer swears, especially because these tame swears are they've been accepted on TV for years now anyways. I just don't go too mature. It's like alcohol. I basically say, like, I draw the line at, yes, you can talk about alcohol. Yes, you can joke. Alcohol makes you drunk. And when you're drunk, funny things happen with you're trying to walk a straight line. But what I don't do is, hey, I'm going to crack one open on stream. Hey, check this out. Here's a story of drinking or things like that. So that's where I'm at. I'll talk about, like, yeah, cigarettes exist, alcohol exists. But what I won't do is go into detail or swear a lot and things like that. That's where that 15-16 rating that I have self-imposed comes in. So it's not for kids, but it's not straight up mature. Let's see. I was a little bummed that none of my moments made it. Which moments? It depends. Because I was gonna say, oh yeah, I know. You know what? I take it back. I know what you're talking about. There were a couple of moments in the last few streams here, especially like the one that was on Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, that's probably because this time I wasn't keeping up with clipping all the clips. I could have fished them out, but it's a long time and I was late already. So I did stick to what I had already clipped and put in that folder all year long, rather than like last year I had to go back and find some stuff that I left time markers. It took a long time. So let's see. There was a rude customer at work and you were mad all stream. A rude customer at work? That would be impossible. I am not customer facing. Well, I guess, okay, there's a touch of customer facing involved, but I don't face... The rude customers are retail style. I do B2B, basically, so there's... Well, was there could still be a client, if you will, that is rude. I don't remember... Was there a rude customer? Because I could see, like, they like to do that. Customer will say, make me... you know, this product, engineer this, customize this. You deliver exactly what they ask and they move the target. They change it. They decide they don't need it anymore. That does happen. So I'll give you that. That does happen. It was probably one of those days, especially the ones that say, can you have that to me in 2 weeks? Sure. And then halfway through the week, can you have that by Friday? That also happens. And it's like, dude, it'll get there when it gets there. I'll pay you your rent when you fix the door. You know, sometimes you just gotta drop that on them. Bum, bum, bum. All right, I am finishing up this last cup of coffee right now, and then when I go to get that new coffee, we are going straight into Pokemon Sapphire, which will look like this, my friends, in case anybody has not seen it. Boom, the great double hunt. Last time I did this, I crashed my own stream, and I still don't know why. Well, I didn't crash the stream. I actually crashed the whole computer. Doesn't make sense, because my temps are cool. Everything's running pretty smooth right now. So I'm going to hope that it will continue to do that. Elite reference, man. Elite reference. I will say, these cutscenes actually do make these Pokemon look pretty cool. Like, in terms of how Zapdos has looked over the years, this is a really good look right here. Same with Mewtwo. Mewtwo especially got a custom animation when you throw a Master Ball. You know what I want to ask? Let's try this. Moxie, stand there on screen for just a sec. I'm going to throw a Master Ball. Is it only... That's not... I need... Hey, does anybody remember how to throw a Pokeball in this game? I thought there was a quick trigger for it. These are items. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I have to fight it first. I'm good. Leave me alone, guys. I'm good. Moxie, yeah, I was going to say, don't miss. Ooh, you didn't take it out? He's only level 50. Sorry, I had to get my head screwed on for just a sec. I'm curious if it also has a custom animation. So Mewtwo, you outsped me. I guess it makes sense. You're a very fast Pokemon, but you're also 45 levels lower than me. So I guess I wasn't prepared for it. All right. I would like to see Mewtwo, if you throw a Master Ball, he knocks it away. And then it kind of like circles back around and gets him. You got to go. Terry freaking Bogard. Thank you, not just for this stream, but all of the stream memories I have had with you. I will see about tomorrow throwing a Smash stream in there. I might do it. We'll see. But no, truly, it has been a pleasure, and it always is. You take care and have yourself a good night. Master Ball. I want to see, does Zapdos get a custom animation? He does! He gets a custom as well. Look at that. He doesn't knock it away. He just gets a little... funny thing, but interesting. I don't know. I didn't realize. I never use a Master Ball, so that was pretty cool. All right. I think it's coffee time. I'll be right back, everybody. Give me just a moment. I'm going to load up the game, and yeah, that was pretty cool. So basically, I'm assuming the same animation plays for Moltres and Articuno as well. So you would have to have two Master Balls, which in this game can occur. You see, I have two. One is gifted to you. One I found on the cave floor. The reason I like that idea is I found it on Cerulean Cave floor, which implies that Giovanni was trying to capture Mewtwo at one point in the past through the Master Ball, and it failed. So he had to have another Master Ball manufactured. I love that idea that the Master Ball did fail, and I found it by getting a random pickup on a cave floor. Anyways, so if you have two, you get to see the animation that plays for the birds, which I'm assuming is the same for all of them. And you get the special animation for Mewtwo where he knocks the ball away. And he probably did that against Giovanni, yet somehow it worked the first time. So I love it that Mewtwo was the only Pokemon that has ever knocked a Master Ball away. Oh, I guess he's two. He's the second Pokemon. Quiz question for anybody. Here's a really good one. I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from the Pokemon anime. The Master Ball failed against another Pokemon. Who was it? If you're really good, you'll know this one. Be right back. All right, helps if I do that really quickly. Poured my fresh hazelnut coffee, ready to go here. Let me pull the chat up. All right, Zapdos. I'm gonna do something I rarely do. I'm gonna clip the Wiimote. I almost called it the Wiimote. Sorry, the Joy-Con to my wrist so I can avoid putting the thing down. And we're gonna go. Let me do that really quickly. All right, Zapdos, you don't look very shiny to me. All right, let's see what you said. By the way, the answer for anybody out there that wants to know who was the first Pokemon, or what was the first Pokemon that knocked a Master Ball away and the first Master Ball fail ever, was in Pokemon Gen 3, the anime. It was a Whiscash. Look it up. I promise it's true. All right, let me do this. Which generation has your favorite regional dex? Or which generation has your favorite new Pokemon? And then you said, dude, I was trying to catch a Ghastly, and it... Ooh. Well, at least it wasn't shiny. Memento? Curse? Probably Curse. Yeah, it's probably Curse. All right, let's give it a shot. Zapdos. Actually, I take it back. I was gonna put the Joy-Con on my wrist and have that to where it was always with me. I actually prefer having it this. All right, it did it again. Zapdos. At least you can't do that. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Check it out, man. Ready? Boom. Oh, it's not there. Give me 1 second. I gotta grab this thing. Grab the source. I'm always doing this. I don't know why. It always undoes itself. Grab that. Done. All right. So it looks good. Now I just got to make sure you should not hear. You should hear only let's go. I mean, technically you couldn't hear this anyways. Is it through desktop audio? Let me double check this really quickly. So if we're doing this, hopefully the computer won't crash again like it did the first time. Yes, input DS. Okay, so really quickly, Archo, you're going to do a quick sound check. It's been a little while since I did this. You can obviously, right now, you can hear Zapdos, right? Let me know. I guess you don't have to let me know. I have a sound bar that'll do this. I just want to see if this is going to let me know. I can hear. All right, you can hear Kyogre. Everything's coming through. Where is it? Where's that audio coming through? Is it coming through the? It's not coming through the desktop. All right, you can hear. You can hear right now. It doesn't look. No, you can't. All right, hang on 1 second. It doesn't look like it's coming through that app. That's because it disconnected. Gotcha. So where do I make that source come through? Hang on. Not Kyogre. Let me just do this really quickly and device. Well, that's not right. How come it's not coming through? I think we had this issue last time too. How about this? That's me. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll mess around with this while I'm resetting. I mean, there's no reason I don't have to. All right, give me 1 second here to figure this out, because for some reason it's not picking up the audio for that. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You should be... Oh, it looks like it... Oh. Is it coming through the... Okay, hang on. I think I see what's happening. Yeah, it's for some reason both sources are the same source. I gotcha. You should have been hearing it twice now. I see what happened. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's the source defaulted back to that. So I need to pretty much mute this. I don't know why it does that. By the way, so it says the source is default, and I'm like, well, what is the default source? Apparently the default source is the Switch. The DS is not actually listed as a source for some reason. So I got to figure out what that's all about. Kyogre, you're not, well, I'm working with your audio though. So I was going to say, Kyogre, you're not shiny, so I'm going to reset you, but I don't have to because Kyogre, you're not sending the right signal right now, so I need to figure this out. Give me just a moment. By the way, what's a new generation of Pokemon? I'd say 7 was definitely a good one. I liked 7 and I liked 9. I think they're both excellent. They give me a lot of Pokemon that I like. Dragalge, for instance, excellent. One of my top tiers. Love them. Revavroom. Revavroom's a quirky one that I like. I like Revavroom. I think Shiny Revavroom does pull off the gold really, really well. I said it was hard to pull off a gold shiny. Well, that one, it works really well. So if I can't do that... Yeah, I'm definitely confused. It's going through the microphone, but let me check my chords. It looks right. Let's try that. Input looks like it's working. I don't know why it thinks it's not. Well, let me try this really quickly. It keeps thinking default. Yeah, it keeps I have to do that because it keeps thinking the default for whatever reason. It's like, oh, you want it through here. I'm like, no, I don't. Microphone. Yeah, go through that. All right. Is it... Well, that didn't work. Is that... It's not capturing my voice. I was going to say for just a second it said microphone. Why didn't that work? It said it was there and now it's saying it's not. Very strange. I wonder if you'll actually pull off the dead save battery hunt. I want to try. Everybody that does this with they do it with RNG manipulation, and I don't want RNG manipulation. All right, well, while I'm still doing this, I'm gonna mute this source because then I can still do Zapdos. For whatever reason, it doesn't pick up the microphone right now. It's not there. It's like it's not even an option. I don't know what's up. Kyogre, you're confusing me. Zapdos, you're not doing much better. Not really sure. Let's see. Don't care too much about the audio. That's true too. I'll give you that. I guess I do because I could switch it over really nice and easy, and that'd be fun for me. What if I add a new source? I'm just curious. Is it there if I were to be like, if I stuck an audio, since I've got all the time in the world, because dual resets mean one of these is really, really, really long for a reset. All right. Would it be input or output? I think it'd be... All right. All right. That was really loud, wasn't it? That was really loud. That's so loud. Guess what happens on a default? It went to, yeah. My bad. I was like, I added a new source, and I forgot when you add a new source, it adds the source at max audio for some reason, because I don't know why. All right, so that was, you heard Kyogre, right? You heard Kyogre on that? I don't know why that did that. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know why I had to do that. Yes, I did. Yeah, so it worked when I added a brand new audio source from scratch as if I had done nothing. That worked great. And I didn't mean for it to do that. I have no idea why it did that. So I still don't know why this is like that, but if I mean, if this is working, I guess I'm not going to ask questions. Yeah, it's working just fine. All right. One more time, Archo. One more time. This shouldn't be too loud. Sorry, I was fiddling with it on stream and I shouldn't have done that. I know what happens when you add a brand new source. This shouldn't be loud. Is that still too loud? I'll shut it off. Was that too loud? Still a little too much, or is that perfect? One more time. That's fine? Okay. All right. If we need that, because something happens, if we end up needing that. I forgot I named this Swampert Jar Jar. Oh, right. You didn't. You're just. Yeah, that's how you do it. Look at me forgetting how to play a Game Boy Advance. I was using L and R, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot L and R doesn't work in this one. It's start select A B because it's a Gen 3, not Gen 4. We're good. All right, Archo. We're hot right now with shiny hunting, duo hunts like this. I think I'm gonna advance the frames even. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna advance the frames. So it's been a long time since I did that, and I don't remember how long I've been on these frames resetting, but I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna save again. So, all right, we are good, Archo. We got past it. I'll delete the original audio source as soon as I get that done. And I apologize for that little oops. I'll try not to let that happen in the future. That's my bad. But in the meantime, man, so when it comes to the new generation Pokemon, I would say that I liked 9 with the I liked the idea more than the reality, I think, of the Paradox Pokemon. I really think that I heard there's a shiny frame every 3 to 5 minutes. I think it's like 9 minutes, because there's a good chance, like, the risk that I run is that I'm never going to hit the shiny frame because it's so far off. But that's why I hunt for a long time on one frame or one seeded spot, and then I move the seed. I advance it by about 5 minutes. So that's what we're going to do today. But so I liked the idea of the Paradox Pokemon a lot. I think their designs are cool. Here's where I have a problem. The past Pokemon have better designs than the future Pokemon, in my opinion. For me, it hits the spot perfect for the Paradox Pokemon from the past, even though I like the story from the future better. Even though technically the story from the future misses out on the mom. It goes with the dad being the one who's spoiler, 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 Gen 9, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. You've been warned if you're watching this. Gen 9 spoiler coming. Just making sure my mic is still good. So even though the dad is the one that's dead, or the mom is the one that's dead in the first one, it makes more sense to me with the future aspect, because the past aspect, it's like they basically just dressed her up like she was in the past for no reason. You know, because it makes sense why the dad would look at the future. He's an android. He's going to the future. Like he's just AI. He's left over for his son after he passed. So I like the story of Violet better. The Paradox Pokemon, I liked a couple of them, but mostly they just look like robot Pokemon versions of everything. And I'm like, is it implying that all the humans are dead and Pokemon were just recreated as AI? Like it'd be like if the Tyrannosaurus Rex has gone extinct, I just build a Mecha T-Rex and call that a creature, you know? So I liked it better. The past Pokemon designs look better. They make more sense, even though it was a cop-out on how to use Roaring, whatever their names are, Walking Wake, Roaring, whatever, Entei, Suicune, Raikou. I liked it better with that. The future Pokemon are all robotic for no reason, except Hydreigon. It straight up says Hydreigon. Ivanus, perfect timing. We're talking about the mating rituals of Hydreigon. So I don't remember the Paradox names very well, but basically the future Hydreigon is the result, and it says this in the Pokedex, of Hydreigon mating with a robot. That's exactly what happened. And it was like, that's weird. So that's why you look like a robot, I guess. What about the rest of you? Why do you all look like robots and nobody's a steel type? So I loved Gallade. I loved Gallade's future form, the Paradox Gallade. I also don't think the Paradox Pokemon make any sense in terms of, it says something like 100 million years into the future. I'm like, 100 million? Make it like, I don't know. There's not going to be any humans in 100 million. Make it more believable. 100 million in the past, I guess, makes sense, but 100 million in the future? That doesn't make sense. How is that even possible? I don't think that they were... It's the same way. Look at the Pokedex. It says that Magikarp can splash over a mountain. It says that every time a Tyranitar throws a fit, we have to redraw the lines of the map. So we know that the Pokedex is a liar. That's why I think you shouldn't take it too seriously when it says Hydreigon mated with a robot. I think that the company that produces the Pokedex are all trolls, and it's not actually a valid source of information. Because it makes no sense. Hydreigon found an AI girlfriend, and whatever the Paradox version of Hydreigon is the result of that. If it's half robot, somehow, then how did it continue to reproduce? Like, no, none of it makes sense. And Pokemon doesn't have to make sense necessarily, but there's a point where there's like, you can suspend your disbelief only so far, and they did a terrible job at keeping me suspended in disbelief. It was like, dude, that makes absolutely no sense. That is way too wild. Try again, Ivanus. I believe in you to type that. Yeah, we're having too much fun making those entries. Yeah. Cool Pokemon idea. Stop. Are we talking like old school Telegram? Cool Pokemon idea. Stop. I think that we should have robotic Pokemon. Stop. Archo, I hope that your day is going well. Stop. Kidding. I know. All right. I think that's probably pretty good. Let's go ahead and save Kyogre. Actually, I'll do a reset for you. All right. There we go. All right. I'm making sure the source isn't off. Ivanus, you're lucky that you didn't see earlier when I blasted Archo's ears off. I didn't mean to, but it was fun. You haven't beaten the game. Not only have I not beaten the game, I specifically skipped the Master Ball. Don't ask me why, but I probably shouldn't have. But when I set up this hunt, I promised myself I would not use a Master Ball. So I don't know why. I just thought I wanted to flex. It's a weird flex. It's a dumb flex, but I skipped the Master Ball. Yeah, it's in the it's sitting in the hideout. The hideout for whatever that team's called, Team Aqua. By the way, let me check my strategy. I haven't done this in a while, so every now and then I need to make sure that I actually know the strategy. So I think I was using Earthquake, or was it? No, I was using Muddy Water. It wasn't Earthquake. Yeah, because that would kill on a crit. So restart. It was Muddy Water, so I could possibly make him miss, and then Kyogre doesn't have a hard catch rate, so it's really not super vital that I get everything perfect. Cool Pokemon idea. A true form type Pokemon where it's the embodiment of the type, like an ice being, or ice type being a mix of all the ice and snow things. I guess let me see. Cool Pokemon idea. A true form Pokemon where it's the embodiment. I think they tried to do a poor version of that with, oh, come on, dude. Why am I forgetting names today? Maybe I'm the one that's having problems. The turtle, help me out. We literally just got this Pokemon. I can't think of his name now. I hate it. I don't like it at all. It's in the anime. They're going to Laqua to return this Pokemon. Terapagos. Couldn't think of it. Terapagos. Terapagos has like that true form. Although to your point, it's an embodiment of every single type. I don't know why. I get it if it's, you know, it makes sense that we have Arceus, who is literally a god, the god of gods. Arceus can switch its type. That makes sense. We have Silvally, or Silvally. Silvally can change its type because it's a manufactured synthetic Pokemon. You load the disc with the type. the idea of having a true form, I do like your idea. They somewhat botched that idea with Terapagos, because Terapagos is just a random crystal turtle. And they were like, well, what if it was super OP and embodied every single type, and we gave it a brand new exclusive type? And I'm like, I liked the idea of having a neutral type, like an astral type or something like that. I know a lot of people have wanted sound type for a very long time. I don't think that's necessary. I like that sound is a type of attack, not a type of a move. Anyways, yeah, it made no sense that Terapagos is as powerful as it is and embodies all the types on its shell. So I could see where it has like a true form to the element itself. I'm actually doing a double reset here. I didn't mean to do that. I hate that I have to wait for Zapdos because I don't know if it's going to be shiny. Like I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to tell that it's shiny, so I don't want to reset it early. Man, look at how fast the old games reset faster. Even with the internal battery dry thing, it resets way faster. I think I already said this once, but fun fact, I think I can show you. Nope, I don't have it. I found a full odds shiny Zubat while I was training up in the same cave that Kyogre is in. All right, Zapdos, let's see what you got. So far, everything's good. I'm monitoring my PC temp because I was worried that that's what caused it last time, and I still don't know what that was all about last time. There we go. I was going to say I'm having trouble resetting. Actually, I need to move my mouse pad over. I've got the DS just sitting here on the desk. Fun fact for you, the DS that I reset Cresselia on, I'm going to do a quick reset on this one. That one is, it's over here as well. It's a DSi, and I slid it behind the computer just at the start of this stream. Well, when I moved everything out, I'm like, probably shouldn't put that back there. That's where the heat vents are. Oh, man. It was putting some heat out. I'm like, no, don't heat up that old DS. It doesn't need that. That's probably what killed my... Oops. There we go. That's good. All right. Well, I guess I'll reset that one as fast as I can. I need to be a little careful. To your point, I don't want to accidentally bang the DS around too much. And, but that's probably why I lost my first game, my first Pokemon Diamond version, because it de-seeded. The game actually needed to be repaired. The chip needed to be put back in place. That's probably what happened. It probably just got heated up too much. I was too obnoxious with where I was putting it, and the game just got too hot all the time. Finally, the glue, the compound came out. The feet are more orange in the shiny. The most obvious way to tell Zapdos is if it's not in the garbage can, you know it's shiny. Gotcha. Ivanus says, well, I was thinking there was like a Pokemon game where types came from true forms Arceus made of each type, like grass being in the Eldritch Tree, plant Pokemon or ground being the rocks, the boulders, pebble. I like it. Okay, it's like, it's almost like if Pokemon, like, I don't want to call them alpha, but if they were like mythicals for every type had a mythical Pokemon, and it was like an avatar, you know, like the idea of Hinduism, that everything has a god. There's a god of grass, there's a god of trees, there's a god of the lake, a god of the river. In this case, it would be there's a mythical true variant of the type itself. Whoops. Of water. There's a mythical true variant of grass type. There's a cat that is going to jump on my lap, and I have a lot of wires around here right now. So I hope he doesn't. Hi, buddy. This cat, man, he's a happy little boy, but he's also obnoxious. No, don't come up here. All right, oh, there we go. I have to scoot him away so he doesn't jump up on the desk. Boom, boom. No, I see where you're coming from, Ivanus. I think that's a good idea. Come on. Come on. There we go. I'm trying to be gentle with the DS. I don't remember if I was picking it up last time or what I was doing. By the way, that whole armored evolution thing, Did people really think it was going to be a thing? Yes. No, so they didn't know anything about the Isle of Armor. Nothing. The Isle of Armor didn't exist. We're talking before the game even came out. They were speculating that, and it wasn't speculating, it was leaks have confirmed for sure Armored Evolution is coming. And they were saying, like, there's videos, I'm sure they're still out there. Content creators never back down when they make false statements. They were basically saying it's Digimon in Pokemon, just like Mega Evolution was Digi-Evolution in Pokemon. Well, they were saying that armor was coming to Pokemon, where you were going to be able to equip different armor and Digivolve like Digimon, where you did Armored Evolution or Armored Digi-Evolution. And that never happens. The closest that we got was that the Isle of Armor refers to Urshifu as its armor. Like when you get Urshifu's final form, one of the two, it's like it's putting its armor on. They say something about its armor. But yeah, nobody apologized for spreading false rumors. I even knew somebody, dude. I still know him. He was pretty much like it's sold immediately that I am not gonna buy this Pokemon game. That is the dumbest mechanic I've ever heard. This game's dead to me. And it was like, dude, you literally just affected a sale right there. The only reason that you can't take it seriously is because when the actual game came out, the rumors are debunked. But it doesn't matter. The content creators have already made their money. The media outlets already made their money from you clicking on their page. So they don't have to redact it. It's just, oh, it was a leak, and it turns out it wasn't a real leak. Oh, well, they already made their money, and that's where I'm critical about content creators can take an asinine fake leak and spread it like wildfire to force it to become reality until the game comes out. Let's see. Ivan says, like, in this universe, Groudon, Kyogre, and other elemental legendaries don't exist, but they got replaced by true Pokemon. In a way, it's kind of like, oh, you know what, Ivanus? Okay, I know exactly where we're going with this. Did you watch the Pokemon movie that takes place in Gen 4 with Ash, Dawn, Brock? And it was made about Pokemon Legends. In the movie, Team Magma, and it's really cool. I'm sorry, not Magma, Galaxy. Team Galaxy tries to contact Giratina, and they want to bring Silas back from the distortion world. To do it, they get their hands on the only plate that's left in reality from Arceus. And it's the Flame Plate. So they actually succeed in capturing Heatran. They overpower, and Heatran is like, in this movie, Heatran is displayed as extremely potent. Just like in VGC, Heatran is a monster. And they overcome the new Team Galaxy, which is comprised of like all the old leaders taking over, stepping up, and not backing down. They escape from prison, they get out, they reform their team, they get the assets to start building again. And this is like, Hunter J is already dead, and Silas is already in the distortion world. So they want to use Heatran to basically overpower and force Giratina back into their reality. It's a really fun movie. So in this movie, they bring back Ash, they bring back Dawn, and they bring back Brock. And in the movie, when they force Heatran to take on the Flame Plate, Heatran transforms into a form that we don't have in-game. And it's basically a Magma Heatran. And it's like, in that moment, Heatran is holding the God of Gods' power of fire, and what he transformed into is considered like the true fire type. That is exactly what I think you're talking about. If you have not seen it, absolutely take a look for it. I think that's exactly kind of where you're going with this. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to run into the kitchen for 2 seconds. I'll leave the mic on. Okay. All good. Sorry, I had to go into the kitchen for 2 seconds, and then my cat decided to run in between my legs and ran into. Like it was a massive collision. He's crazy. All right. Anyways, so if you haven't seen that, I think it's called like Pokemon Legendary Chronicles or something like that. And it's actually, I mean, it really is kind of a crazy movie. Like, the idea is that Heatran gets the fire plate forced into it. And what's funny about it, dude, so there's a really funny moment in the movie where Heatran is transformed into this magma monster. And Ash basically has to get involved. And it's actually a sequel to the Jewel of Life, Arceus and the Jewel of Life, because Ash knows Arceus. He knows who he is, what he is. They have met before. And there's a point where Arceus sees it, and he kind of looks at it, and he's like, oh, that's my fire plate. I've been looking for that. So Ash says, you need to take the fire plate back. Arceus is like, all right, I'll take it back. I'll just kill this thing. And Ash actually has to, like, stop Arceus, like, wait, I don't want to kill Heatran, though. And Arceus just kind of looks, ah, you're making this so complicated, but okay, fine. You can just tell Arceus is like, yeah, I'm just going to decimate. I'm gonna judgment this thing and kill it, and then I'll rip my plate out of it. And it was like, wait, I don't want to hurt Heatran. And it's like, fine. Oh, my God, I made him, but that's fine. I could just make another one, but I'll go ahead and save its life. And it was like, it was just funny how Arceus, like, it's like hard mode, but he's doing Ash a solid. Like, you can tell for a second Arceus was just going to completely kill Heatran, to rip the plate back out and move on with his life. So that was a pretty brutal display of, like, Arceus basically showed, I could kill this thing in 2 seconds, but I'm doing it the hard way because you asked me to. Ivana says, so I'll describe each true Pokemon type to you in my image. Grass is a snake-like plant with trees growing on its side that act like spikes. It is responsible for the grass and all plants like things. In a way, it's almost like terrestrialization, except it's a Pokemon form. Because terrestrialization is a really cringy version of, like, putting the true embodiment of the form on its head. This would be like a non-cringy version of that. And mythical only. It wouldn't be like every Pokemon could do it. Alright. Wait, let's just make sure. Gotta watch out. Those, to your point, its feet, and I can see it on the overlay as well, its feet get really, really dark orange, and that's how I'm gonna know. You are correct. I'm gonna be keeping my eye open for that, because that is like the true version of how, or not the true version, sorry, the true way to tell if this Pokemon is shiny or not is by looking at its feet. Check the chicken feet. If they're not dark, it's not shiny. I like that they... It really is funny to me they actually turn that thing into a freaking chicken. Like, it's finally living its best life as a chicken. In Galar, anyways. The weird part about it is that they did give the Galarian forms shinies. They're only in Pokemon Let's Go. You can't get them in the game. It feels almost like they duped us. Maybe duped isn't the right word. It's just they cheated us. They didn't give it to us where it belongs. Yeah, so the feet, I'll give you that. Maybe I can do faster resets here. I'll be watching out for those feet. And maybe because this game is so vibrant, maybe it'll be a little easier overall. I thought Articuno was going to be hard to see. It's pretty easy to see, actually. Take a sip of my coffee and watch Kyogre here. Gen 3 in the anime was pretty wild. Not only did the Master Ball fail to catch a Whiscash, but, and I think it was, yeah, it was called Nero. That's what it was. The guy that threw the Master Ball at Whiscash called that Whiscash Nero. That was his nickname for it. I think it was Nero. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, so not only did the Master Ball fail in the anime, Ash asked the audience a quiz about what Pokemon does Arbok evolve into, and the correct answer was, not Superior. What's Zangoose's offset? I can't remember. I'm literally losing names like crazy. Seviper. Jeez, I'm losing names today, man. Seviper. So, not only did Ash say that Arbok evolves into a Seviper, but he also pronounces it Kyogre and Groudon. That's how you, the announcer of Pokemon pronounced those Pokemon's name, Kyogre and Groudon. Reset Sapphire and count 67 seconds, then encounter Kyogre. If it's shiny after 67 seconds, I give it to you. I don't even know how to get this Pokemon off the game. Well, I guess I do. I'd have to move it up. No, that'd be such a pain, though. But I could do it. You got to move it up from Sapphire into the Pal Park in Diamond, catch it, then transfer it to Gen 5, which I haven't played yet, and then move it to Pokemon Bank, bank to home, home to your account. All right, let me get my phone. We'll do this. We'll do this exactly after 67. I don't know why you guys love that number so much, but 64 is kind of Nintendo's number, not 67. All right, let me get my stopwatch. Where is it? Clock. Stopwatch. All right. Just for you. Like a 67 Mustang. Here we go. All right. It's the latest meme. I don't even know why it's funny. You got me on that one, too. All right, here we go. Ready? I'll look it up. And... boom. All right. Bum, 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 ba, 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 bum. At exactly 67.00, I will encounter Groudon. I can't remember. Is it, I can't remember when the clock stops. Is it when Groudon, I'm sorry, Groudon, geez, Groudon. Yeah, that's a Groudon, Kyogre. I read up there, yeah, you get what I did. Anyways, so I don't remember it. I think it is when you encounter it, not when it spawns. That's when the clock stops. Or I should say the seed stops. Well, no, because the seed is determining the position. Yeah, the clock stops. So I think it's right as I talk to it, not as I encounter it. Or no, it is. Yeah, it's when I encounter it. You got to factor it in. There's an offset. That's so you have to wait until you have to basically do this. And then at 67, 10 seconds from now. Let's see. Ocean. Hang on one second. Boom. There you go. All right. I believe the clock stopped there. And just to give you the simultaneous encounter, Archo, you ready? Simultaneous. Let's go. Double shinies. Go. Archo, I don't think I got any shinies. It was a good attempt. All right, let's see. Water is a wave-like fish that forms from the water and bubbles around it. It has a big coral on its sides and barnacles for protection. It's shaped like a dolphin with each fin having a different... Sorry, I gotta clear my throat. Ocean that it represents. It's responsible for the ocean, water, and everything involving water. I kind of like that because... hear me out on this one. Let me stop that clock. Hear me out on this one, Ivanus. In mythology for Rome and Greece, since they both kind of had, they had the same mythology. They had major gods and minor gods, or demigods. A good example is, they had the god of wind, whose name escapes me because today my brain is not in names. I don't know why. Either way, so the god of wind existed in Roman mythology. But then there was a minor god. In this case, let's use the Aeneid, the Aeneid, you know, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid. If you guys remember the Aeneid, if you had to read about Aeneas in school, in the Aeneid, there is a point where Aeneas is attacked, not by the god of wind, but by the demigod of the east wind, and his name is Aeolus. So, in fact, that's where we got the name for your lungs, the Aeoli. So Aeolus is the god of the east wind, or I guess he is the east wind. He is a minor god, and then the major god is the god of the wind. In that case, Neptune actually basically got an Aeolus to back down because Aeolus was blowing Aeneas's boat, and Neptune said, "Hey, you're blowing your wind, but it's over my ocean, and since I'm a major god, I'll kill you. You're a minor god, I'm a major god." The reason I bring this up, the true form of a water type, mythical, would still not be at the same level that Kyogre is. Kyogre, well, basically could flood the entire ocean over land. If you think about it, Kyogre literally could flood everything and kill everybody instantly. Like, he is the god of the water. He is the apex water type. So technically, you could still have a mythical that commands water that isn't quite at Kyogre's level. Maybe Kyogre's the god of water, and a mythical with the true ocean type represents the oceans, but it's not quite the same level that Kyogre is. I would love it because it would be great to follow mythology like that, where every god, well, not every god, but a lot of gods had minor gods under them, you know? Gods that kind of crossed into their realm, and it's like, look, you can be the god of the wind for one direction of the wind, just know your place. Same thing. I kind of like that idea. I think they should go that way, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna start going by the chicken feet. If it's not bright orange, I think that's an excellent source to look at. You are correct. It has different forms for each sea. Although you're asking Nintendo to put effort into a Pokemon like that, you're gonna be sorely disappointed with the result. not to not trust Game Freak, but you know. It would be like, it would be, I mean, that would especially work well with, that's why I say, there's a podcast out there where I talked about what I would name Gen 8, I think is what it was, or was it no, I think it was Gen 8, because we didn't have Gen 8 yet, and I said Pokemon Astral and Pokemon Earth would be excellent names for a future and a past tense of Pokemon. I was thinking, like, if for me, I had proposed if I were making a game, it would be an Egypt region where the pyramids kind of exist in a way that you can travel to the past, but you're not actually going to the past as much as you're embodying the past in a certain area and the relics and everything, you know? And I said Astral and Earth. But I also told Naya in that same podcast, if we were going more mainstream, I would call Pokemon Wind and Wave, which is really funny because 3 generations later, that's the rumor on the street, is that Wind and Wave are the next games. But it would actually be really cool to do your idea in a Wind and a Wave game. That's why I don't trust Pokemon to do that. I don't think they would put that much effort, because it would actually be exactly the reference I'm talking about from the Aeneid, is the Wind and the Wave, the minor god, major god, the mythical versus legendary. That would be all perfect, man. That would... We're brewing some good ideas here. Game Freak, just hire us. Literally, sign me a contract, and we'll get this going for you. Everybody in this room right now will be the round table, and we'll tell you the ideas. You just get some drawings going and program some code for me, and we'll do the rest. All right, let's see. It has different forms. I saw that. We should go back in time and hire the Romans to make the next Pokemon game. Or, like I say, you know, we got our round room right here, our round table right here. The ideas we're brewing up, man. Imagine that we make a fan game. Like, you think about these fan games, right? Fan games turn into resume material. So yes, Pokemon gets a little upset about some of them, but there are some, I mean, I think Pokemon actually shot down, if I'm not mistaken, I thought the Game Awards floated like 10 years ago the idea of handing out a fan game award. And Pokemon was like, you're going to hand out an award. You're going to invite someone to put on a suit and a tie and hand them an award for stealing my ideas? Hell no. So I think that it was actually Pokemon and a few other companies that contacted the Game Awards and told them, you better knock that off. Don't even think about it. But in reality, there are several fan games out there that if you say you were involved in making them, if you say, hey, I programmed XYZ, whatever, well, I can't, you know, I'm sorry, I just shook the controller again. I'm not saying physically XYZ, I forgot, that's a bad way to, I'm saying like 1, 2, 3, you know, I said XYZ is like insert your name here. There are developers out there that have used that as actual resume material. Like, oh my God, you actually made that? Oh, heck yeah, we know we know that you know what you're doing now. So go ahead, we're gonna hire you. So in those aspects, we could make what we're talking about right now, and dude, we could go into game development using that. Like, this idea is not just screwing around or drinking at the table and, hey, I got a great idea, man. No, this sounds awesome. This is going off that idea. That's like, did I tell you guys about Smolder, my fan Pokemon I created? Smolder was a sentient tire. And the reason is because we've got sentient Pokeballs, we have sentient trash bags. I think that we should definitely have sentient tires. You know, somebody threw out a tire and it turned into a Pokemon after, you know, a boat anchor turned into a Pokemon. So I came up with like 6 years ago, Smolder. He's a tire, so he's fire and ground type, because what do tires do? They do burnouts where the rubber meets the road, fire and ground. I thought it was great. That was such a cool Pokemon idea. And I proposed that with Pokemon Astral and Earth. Dude, if I made these things for real, I think they would actually go over well. I don't think that's just me thinking that's a good idea. I think it's actually legit a good idea. So I think what we're talking about here with mythical Pokemon to accompany the legendaries in terms of like, why would you make a mythical water type that has this transformation into this ocean thing? Well, because we have our legendary water type. We have Kyogre. Now we've got our minor god, or in this case, our mythical. That would work out great, man. And yeah, you might have to spend some time explaining the reference or waiting for a YouTuber to pick up on the reference to the Roman stuff, but it would work. I'm telling you, man, it would work great. Final Fantasy did it. It worked for them. Fire. This Pokemon takes the form of a salamander made of molten rock. With each century, its fire is second form, which is directly made of fire, but on its back has large volcano, which is one of the reasons the islands exist. It controls everything fire-like and magma-related. So I would actually argue on this one, Ivanus, I would actually argue with this one that volcanoes are more ground than they are fire, because magma is boiling earth. So it's not actually fire. Fire is combustion. Magma is melted, extremely super hot pieces of dirt. So I would actually go volcano is dirt. Fire would be more like, I don't know what fire would be. I guess what burns naturally. Maybe it'd be like kind of like Thundurus throws lightning. Well, the lightning hits something and fire happens. We're getting there. I like the salamander idea. I like the salamander. I think the volcano goes to ground, and I think the fire is the salamander. Like a drake. Like a dragon. That would work great. I mean, a dragon is already a type, so I guess we'd have to figure it out, but we're getting there. Yeah, I guess you're right. The salamander can't be a drake, can't be a wyvern, can't be a dragon, because we already have a dragon type, so that's already taken care of. So we need to think salamander probably belongs to fire, to your point. Let's see. True types do work with each other to make things like ground and fire working. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is they have to be pure types. Jirachi is kind of like, if you think about it, in terms of like a psychic, true psychic type. Like Jirachi is kind of there as your already existing mythical. In fact, Jirachi could be a nice one. You could give Jirachi, so you don't even have to come up with a scratch form, by the way, like a very scratch form new Pokemon. You might even import Jirachi and give him a second form that is the true psychic type. That's where I would go with that. That way you're hitting that nostalgia factor a little bit. People love new Pokemon forms almost more now than they love new Pokemon altogether. So we could borrow a couple of already existing mythicals and give them a form. That's where I would go with it. Romans had the craziest lore. Yeah, their lore, their mythology made no sense at all. It's all, I mean, it makes great content for games and books, but it doesn't make any sense when you actually look at it. And there's definitely nothing pious about it. Romans' mythology was disgusting on pretty much every single turn or corner. Some of it's good though, but it makes better source material for what like crap we're talking about right now than it does for actual like it's not a good read, put it that way. I guess the Aeneid, the Iliad, the Odyssey are, I mean, the Odyssey's good. The Iliad, to me, it was good. The Metamorphoses was enjoyable. I guess, you know, I had a lot of poetry, but the Aeneid was really good. That one was actually fun. I love the idea of like Hector and Troy, of Troy, Aeneas, Achilles. Like, I liked those aspects just as much as the gods, you know? Having that epic adventure was better than like the lore of the gods, because the lore of the gods was kind of nasty and never made sense. If Zeus could keep it buttoned up, half that lore wouldn't exist. Okay, here we go, Ivanus. For fire form, Salamander takes the shape of pure fire using blue fire. There we go. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. In reality, like, natural fires burn a lot of colors a lot of the time because of the various gases involved. Throw green grass in there. Not green grass. Green gas. Sorry. Green fire would work great because magnesium from meteorites, when meteorites enter the Earth's atmosphere, true meteorites, or not even meteorites, meteors, they burn green. That's another good one. You know, it's a natural fire. Anyways, the blue fire to burn grass away while it battles with grass and water true types. I like the idea of blue fire for various naturally occurring natural gas, burns various colors, of course, because it's a mixture of hydrocarbons like propane. And then I would throw in some other colors, you know. Similar to, since I brought it up, Avatar The Last Airbender, remember when Zuko and Aang see the true fire from the dragons? And he's like, wow, there's so many colors, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of the same meaning, is that everyone's got the idea that natural fire usually burns different colors at extreme heats. So the purest form of fire would burn at extreme heats. I shook it again, didn't I? You shouldn't be afraid of this, Eevee. It's a Zapdos. We fought a Mewtwo. That Mewtwo was actually a level 100 with the stat boosts. You shouldn't fear this Zapdos. And I don't need to fear the stream dropping because everything seems to be A-okay. And the heat on the computer, yeah, it's perfect. You know what? Well, no. Does anybody remember when the stream broke? I was going to say, I was wondering if maybe I did it in the summertime and this room was a little hot. And now I'm doing it in the wintertime when it's kept at 69 degrees exactly, which is kind of cold. You know, you think about it. This room never gets down to 69 degrees in like in July. I think I vaguely remember that. Let's see. I mean, the time... Hold on. Let me start back at there. Archo said, I mean, the stuff where they're getting up to those temples doesn't paint the best picture. You are correct. I think I vaguely remember that when the stream dropped. All right, let's see. Ivanus, continuing on, says it has smoke coming out of its mouth and it changes color based on the heat in the area. Changes color based on the heat in the area. I could give it that. To an extent, like I say, I would almost, the salamander idea I actually really, really like. Otherwise, I would borrow Heatran and give him a second form because he would be a perfect candidate for that. Actually, who do we consider? We consider Groudon fire as like, because Groudon's kind of got two things going on, but that it makes sense that he's got that. I mean, magma, lava, it involves heat and earth. So do we consider the apex of fire to be Groudon? Because, yeah, but, oh, sorry. Got something stuck in my throat. So he's ground, but he's got the heat element to him and a second form available. So do we consider Groudon to be like the god of fire, or do we consider him to be just volcanic and earth? Because if Groudon is straight up ground, it's in his name, then I would say Heatran is like the second tier. I'm not talking VGC, but the second tier to Groudon. So like Heatran's the minor god, Groudon's the major god, but they're both earth. They're still sticking with that volcanic version. So if that's the case, we have an open season for fire because we don't have a legendary of fire. We have Moltres, but Moltres is legendary, and they're really not gods of fire. He's just a bird that's on fire. Totally different. Moltres to me is basically a souped-up version of Talonflame. All right, let's see. Archo says, ever since I've become a Christian, I've actually, whoops, gotta click the button, gotten quite interested in the studying of all this stuff. I've actually been thinking of changing my major to theology and moving out to the USA to study. Yeah, you got a lot going on there with that then. That's a major commitment. I'm all for it, man. I think it's excellent. In fact, ironically, the purest form of fire you could argue is burning bush. But no, man, I hope that's... I'm glad that that path has gone well for you. I'm glad that in the last 4 years I've seen those changes at you. And if that's where you want to go, man, if that's what you want to pursue, I think that's the way to do it. Fun fact for you, I worked with someone, a scientist, who majored in theology. He may work in material sciences in chemistry, but he actually started out in theology, and he moved here to the U.S. Same path. He got involved in, I guess it'd be like a Buddhist temple, because he was in Asia. And he got involved with a Buddhist temple. Long story short is he ended up coming out here doing theology, and he was a priest for a while. And not only does he still practice, like he still does officiating weddings very, very occasionally. He's an old, like ancient old now. Either way, so whenever his kids or his grandkids are getting married, he usually does that. But he still has his career that he does. That I don't know. It's because he has like 25 grandchildren. I'm assuming that's why he still works. But because he's like, I think he's 73 now. Honestly, I think he really is 73. But at 73 years old, he still works. He's still a materials scientist by day, and you know, he doesn't do sermons. I think he said the last time he's done a sermon, it's been a long time, but he still officiates a wedding every now and then for his family, so, or friends of his family. So, you know, he still does the by the state of yada yada, I now pronounce you part. So that's a path he took, and it worked out great for him. So it's like if you want to get involved in the workforce, you can, or if you want to stick to preaching or anything like that. But it's not just that, like youth programs or fundraising, charities. He does all of that, or I should say he did all of that. It's now that he's older, he doesn't really do that as much, but he did all of that. So, you know, he was just a good impact on this world, and he continues to be. The most dangerous thing about him is he likes the top shelf whiskey, so it hurts the wallet. That's the most unpious part about him, is that he's not great with money. Everything else, he's been a good human to this planet. Let's see, where was I at? Guy sounds so cool. Yeah, he also had a car I really liked years ago. Actually, he had 2 cars. He's owned 2 cars that are really cool. Let's see. Actually, wait. For the salamander, it's made of dead wood. That is the skin. But underneath is fire, is the actual organs of the salamander. I like it. I actually like that one a lot. The reason is because in nature, if humans were not combusting things, right? We were not sparking things manually. If we were not doing this manually, natural fire is meteors. They burn naturally. Lightning strikes. Well, what do they strike? They strike trees. And then natural gas leaks from the earth. So, yes, volcanoes cause magma, but we're separating that as Earth. So, I would say when it comes to combustion, lightning hits trees, so you've got the bark, that's there. It absolutely works. Salamanders, basically we're avoiding dragons, because dragon has its own type, and dragons breathe fire, wyverns, all that. So, salamanders are basically the last thing left, so I like the form. And I like the different colors of fire because natural fire is not just red. Lightning strikes causes red, but natural gas burning and things entering our atmosphere, they're not red. So I'm totally there for it. We're not going to count the sun because that's nuclear. That's way different. It is somewhat a combustion, but it's a nuclear reaction. If I'm looking at strictly the combustion reaction, we're going to ignore the sun for a second. Mainly because otherwise now you're getting into true fire is actually that giant ball of life that it will burn your skin and give you tumors if you're not careful with it, but otherwise it gives us life. Technically you could argue that, but since it's nuclear, we're going to put that in its own category. No, I'm on board with it, Ivanus. You got something excellent going there. And even though Pokemon won't put that much effort, they have 18 types, so that would be 18 different forms, and I barely trust them to make a dex of 90 Pokemon anymore. But I liked my idea on the regards of you could even borrow an existing mythical or two, like Jirachi. I think that instead of coming up with a new Pokemon, giving Jirachi a true form as a clairvoyant, you know, with future sight, with that third eye. Like, Jirachi's got everything going for it to have a true form and ascend from being a mythical to like a super mythical, i.e. like a semi-god, versus, well, I guess, I don't know who the god of psychic would be. I kind of consider it Mewtwo, but he's not a god. He's just a really OP science experiment. So I don't think we have a psychic god. Lunala doesn't really count, because we have Solgaleo as the sun, we have Lunala as the moon, so that's all taken care of already. I was never a science guy, so you're making no sense. Yeah, it's really hard to describe combustion without science. Like, what is fire? Because it's so hard to explain what fire is without saying it is a combustion reaction. Versus a nuclear reaction is not actually fire. So I'll give you that. I see where you hang in there with us, though. We're going lore heavy on random sources, but we're still hanging in there with this idea that a true form would be like the semi-god to the god. The god of fire, we don't really have one in Pokemon terms. I guess Palkia, right? Palkia, no, because Palkia's, well, first off, Palkia is a water type anyway, so it doesn't make any sense. So I can't use that. Yeah, I don't even use them. I'm sorry. They can mess around. I don't know. They don't have dragon gods. We have Reshiram, Zekrom. We don't have a dragon god right now. We'll get to that when we get to that. But when it comes to like what Pokemon is the apex of fire and which one are the psychic apex, I really don't know right now. I can't really think about it. The Island Guardians don't count because they're region specific. So it makes sense that they wouldn't be. It would be like saying there's a guardian of one ocean. Then there's the true form mythical that we're brewing up here that embodies all oceans. And then at the top, there's Kyogre, the god of water. You know? That kind of thing. Probably shouldn't drink coffee right as I'm doing a shiny encounter. That's asking for disaster. Don't want that to happen. All right, let's see. Actually reading a book about science and God right now. Sorry. I got something caught in my throat. It's very scientific. Can't understand a thing, but you're getting the basic gist. Yeah, that's pretty much every scientific publication out there. Basically, that's how it works. Is you read it and you're lost. And a PhD chemist reads about cell biology studies and they're lost. A mathematician reads about physics and they're lost. And you have to take time to like read it 5 times and look up every little thing to get what the paper is saying. That's pretty much the world of publications in science. In chemistry, it would be like, I am talking about, let's say I'm publishing something about a Wittig reaction, and somebody that deals with inorganic material is like, okay, I know what the Wittig reaction is, but I've forgotten where's the nucleophile? What is even going on in this reaction? Because they sit over there with metals all day, you know? I went way over everyone's head. Of course they don't know. Anyways, Archo says, I actually find it interesting even though I don't understand nitty-gritty. That's the important part. You got something from it.
light from distant galaxies in the Big Bang. That's definitely some crazy math that I have no idea about. Ironically, it's considered easy math in the world of physics. But the ironic part about that is that I argue, and I might be the only person out there arguing this, and I've made a video about it, I've talked about this before, that that they went super nitty-gritty with the science on Photon Geyser, the move used by Ultra Necrozma, because that move... Now, I know that after Photon Geyser, they started doing this with other moves. But at the end of the day, Photon Geyser was the very first move to utilize the function that it deals attack physical if your defense, or if you'll take more damage from the physical side, it calculates it based on physical. If you'll take more damage from the special side, then it's a special attack when it hits you. And I argue that they did that because it's called Photon Geyser. Photons are the only material that we know of that act both as a particle and as a wave. And so that's why I argue that duality, we call it the dual nature of light. That is actually an accepted term. I argue that wasn't an accident, that they did that on purpose, that Photon Geyser has a dual nature because light itself is known for its dual nature. I argue that Pokemon knew what they were doing when they did that. At least one guy knew what he was doing in the room and pitched it, and everyone's like, yeah, it sounds good to me. I like that idea. Make it happen. That's probably how that went. All right, Ivanus says fairy, a big butterfly with the world's colors coming from its rainbow set of wings with ribbons containing fairy dust of each fairy Pokemon and each butterfly coming from it. Kind of like Vivian, except souped up. Actually, it'd be like Dynamax or Gigantamax Butterfree in a way. But I like that it's like it's almost angelic. The picture that I'm getting from what you're saying is it's almost like it's an angelic butterfly wing. If you could take angel's wings and turn them into butterfly wings and make that an amalgam, that's kind of the image I'm getting from you. Correct me if I'm on the right path or not. But I also add this. Pokemon is actually pretty sneaky about not using the fairy type like pixies and magic. They're actually really clever about making fairies from multiple mythologies, similar to Klefki, how fairies in multiple cultures were actually mischievous and stole things. Now, I may not like Klefki's design, but it is on the idea that little trinkets, particularly shiny trinkets, fairies would steal, and they would hoard them for no reason, similar to a dragon with gold. And I kind of like when they introduce the fairy type to Pokemon that are a little, or not introduce the type, I should say, not the retroactive thing, when they develop a fairy type from scratch. Sylveon, obviously, is a very elegant fairy-like, and there are a few others that are like it, fairy-like Pokemon, but then every now and then they get that weird fairy in there that doesn't make sense. But I guess, you know, we're talking Apex. We're not talking like a random, like a gnome could be a fairy. We're not talking like that. We're talking that it's embodying the actual type, and the actual type would be mythical. So I'm on board. Let me know if that's kind of the idea you're getting. Is it's a Pokemon form that is embodying that butterfly spirit, but in an angelic way. That's kind of what's in my head when I read your idea. All right, Kyogre. What if I called you Kyogre? Just like they did in the dub for 4Kids, huh? How would they make you feel? Would that make you turn pink? With rage? Did I ever test? I didn't even test my strategy. I think what I was going to do, let's do it. Let's do a mock battle right now. Kyogre mix it drizzle, I make it rain. Let's go muddy water. I think that was the idea, is I used muddy water to chip damage. So the crits are careful. I'm careful about the crits. And yeah, because he has Calm Mind as well, so we don't want that happening, obviously. So I was using muddy water to try and get the accuracy drop. It didn't happen this time, but I think that's what I'm rolling the dice hoping for. I'm not hoping for a freeze with Ice Beam. I'm hoping for an accuracy drop. So I was going to stop it right here, because you don't want to risk a crit death right here. If it crits right here, he would go to 0, and then I would fail the shiny. So at this point, I switch over to Wall Rain. And then he's using Ice Beam and doing all that stuff, but it's fine because I'm level 82. By the way, do you have any idea how long it took to get a level 82 Walrein fighting Zubats in a cave? It took forever! That's why I'm not abandoning this hunt, because this took forever to set up, man. And then, yeah, from there, it's just chucking Pokeballs at it. So, yeah, I guess Dive Ball. Oh, that's right. Dive Ball only works on basically one Pokemon, Clamperl, and whatever else is down there, maybe Magikarp. It was throwing net balls, so then my strategy was to catch this in a net ball like that. And it has a really high catch rate, so I don't have anything to worry about. I'm not putting it to sleep, I'm just trying to get its accuracy down. And Walrein is so tanky that it won't die to it. That was my idea. That was my my plan for Kyogre. It's a solid B+ plan because I'm not doing things like counting its moves and doing things I would normally do if I think that I have a chance at losing the Pokemon. I think Kyogre is going to be relatively easy to catch. So, I mean, it has a very high catch rate. Otherwise, I would have grabbed the Master Ball. And the goal was not even, this is what's bad about it, is I wasn't looking for Kyogre. I stopped for Kyogre along the way to see if I could do it. I actually wanted to find Rayquaza. I wanted to do this in the Year of the Dragon, and I didn't get to it. I ended up doing Rayquaza in the Year of the Dragon because of the black Rayquaza that they threw in as a nod to Lucius in the Pokemon anime. They threw that raid in Pokemon Violet, and I did that with you guys. Alright, the book is called Return of the God Hypothesis, and it's by a PhD scientist called Stephen Meyer. I feel like I've heard that name before, Stephen Meyer. Covers the history of some of the coolest discoveries in recent science, as well as the rise and fall of theistic science. It definitely sounds like an interesting book. Might even pull a couple pages from it to take a look. The feet are yellow. I will reset for a fellow. If the feet are orange, nothing rhymes with orange. Just catch it and move on. And take a swig of my coffee. Probably go maybe another... Yeah, I'll go to like 6 o'clock. I think 6 o'clock is a good time to call it. For me, that's 22 minutes, by the way. Three major discoveries about theism. All right, let's see. Ivan, it says for bug, a big centipede, geez, with the wings of a fly, eyes that. Okay, I was just checking to make sure my Kyogre is blue. Eyes that. I need to find your message. Hang on one second. I'm trying to reset this and move this screen because I bumped into it. The eyes it has sees almost everything in the world with a stinger that hurts like a bullet and antennas as big as logs. It made every bug in the world and teamed up with the fairy True to make butterflies. So the thing I like about that idea is bugs are seen like Beedrill. Beedrill in Gen 1 was like Ash, Misty, and Brock. Every single time they ran into a threat, it was a bug. Every time. It was angry Beedrill, and they would have to run away. If it wasn't Beedrill, Scyther. Scyther literally was like terrifying in Gen 1. I like the idea that the bug type would be all-seeing, because that's an idea that's like all-seeing eyes is associated with psychic, like clairvoyance. But what if it was the bug that had the all-seeing eyes, you know? And what if it teamed up with the psychic one as well to acquire those all-seeing eyes? All right, Zapdos, let's see if you got anything in the tank for us. End of the year, 2025. Can I get a shiny? No. Kyogre, you got a chance? Kyogre's like, man, I got a chance. 1 in 8,192. You better be ready to buckle up. And I'm like, hey, been doing it for years. All right, Kyogre, nothing. Swap you out. There you go. And my phone has a red light on it, so I should probably go throw that on the charger before the stream's over. Otherwise, it's gonna die. And you know what happens when your phone dies? You lose the tabs you have open. And I am not one of those crazy people that has 100 tabs, but right now I have like 4, and I need them. All right, let's go Kyogre on this one. I'm gonna start with Kyogre. Let's see. There's a whole chapter about DNA as well. I haven't read that yet. DNA is one of the wildest things. When you look at genetics and epigenetics, we've mapped the human genome, and yeah, the human genome is mapped in the 90s. It's super easy now. We understand it completely. We know how to splice DNA. Borderline makes you wonder if AI is ever going to be to the point where it can tell you exactly how to build a human and splice DNA in a way that you could eliminate disease or give them a genetic predisposure to like crazy muscle mass. But at the same time, I still think that's so far away, if not impossible, because DNA, the way it operates, and I can speak a little bit of experience. My minor in college was in genetics. And DNA is a wild concept, how telomerase constructs DNA. It's really strange how it's like a chicken or an egg scenario where telomerase writes DNA as an enzyme, but DNA wrote that enzyme into existence in the first place. It's a wild world when you look at how it got here over millions of years. It's almost like DNA doesn't actually make sense when you look at it. If you look at chemically what it is, the disulfide bridges and the pieces, they make sense. The RNA becoming DNA makes sense. Telomerase and how it moves with the telomeres on the end of the DNA strands, or in worst case scenario, telomerase is triggered in a tumor and just starts rapidly writing DNA uncontrollably at random. That's not good. But the whole idea of how DNA came to be, how an enzyme developed DNA that developed the enzyme to develop the DNA to develop the enzyme to get to the point of writing a human, is pretty crazy. It really is like, it's one of those things when you think about it, you're like, dang, wow. You get that feel of like, this is bigger than me, that kind of thing. Or as they say, I mean, the other thing is that in a world where you have times 10 to the 20th random sequences that had to occur before we could get created, all these random events that would have to occur to create your organs, to create your DNA, all these things, and they all fell into place perfectly by total accident, that nature just favored us, that it worked. After the entire planet was extinct of a species or multiple species of dinosaurs first, so that means for us to exist, for all these things to happen, the Earth reset itself, or, well, was forcefully reset by a giant asteroid first. I mean, to make the environment to build us in the first place is the wild. It doesn't make sense when you look at it from an outside perspective that everything worked out perfectly with the sequence of events that caused us to develop. Like, it's wild to think about. It really is. Let's see. I've heard that DNA has been linked to a computer code that's far more advanced than any code that human has ever written. Linked to it? Oh, likened to it. DNA, it's basically two things, and to your point, we've mapped the human genome. However, mapping the genome doesn't... mapping the genome basically means you know how all the parts assembled, but that doesn't mean you know how they work. We have genetics, which is traits, the symptom of your DNA, traits. We know how zygotes work. We know how egg works. We know how the enzymes work, like telomerase. That's the genetics part of it. And then we know the epigenetics. The epigenetics are basically the switchboard of how traits are linked to specific sequences of DNA. The problem is that protein complexes alone are so hard to model that it's taken us decades to build the protein database to understand proteins. Try to understand the perfect switchboard of all the DNA sequences, everything that has to be right or left, up or down, everything, and that's a easy way to put it. Epigenetics is putting together the DNA code is the game. DNA is the game you are playing. It is Kyogre sitting there. Epigenetics is the programming behind it, the lines of code behind it. And for every trait that there's a gene that is recessive or dominant for it, there's a circuitry board of programming behind it that is the epigenetics. Not only that, blood types have to do with like R factor. If you ever look up R factor, you understand blood types is A, B, and O. But then there's positive and negative. And then on top of that, there's the unspoken of R type. There's just a huge circuitry board behind everything. There's lines of code behind everything, if you will. There's a deeper hole within every burrow. It's crazy. And all of it had to come together just for me to freaking spend hours here trying to catch a Pokemon that's got a different color. Oh, and drink coffee. Don't forget the coffee. Let's see. Ivanus says, Ice is a big owl with icicles attached to his wings and snow covering its entire body. I like that idea, too. I do like that idea. Ice on its wings is a very prophetic thing, so I like that. It has snowflakes as its eyes, and it sees clearly in the blizzards it creates with the flap of its wings, able to make anything into ice with a flap of its wings. It controls everything ice and snow related. Snow is kind of, ice type is kind of at the mercy that it's a subcategory of water. Makes you wonder why there was never a steam type. We have ice type. Why don't we have a steam type? Maybe that's the next type we need to go to, steam. Steam makes engines move. I mean, it's a valid type. They should consider making a steam type. Either way, no, I like the idea. Ice on its wings is it reminds me of the Pink Floyd song "Learning to Fly." You know, ice on my wings. I like that idea, that it's embracing it. Like, you know, it's ice. Ice is something you don't want on wings. It takes multiple efforts of frosting or de-thawing and frosting out wings on planes to get them to fly. Birds can't have frost on their wings or they die. This would be the flip of that. It's counterintuitive. It's, dare I use this term, the juxtaposition of it. That the thing that would normally kill everything is being embraced by your mythical. I like that idea. You're coming up with some good stuff here. I'm drinking coffee and I'm toasting to this. I'm digging it. All right, let's see. I think that's where the argument lies. Let's see. Looking at my bird first. For some reason, my throat is not cooperating today. I keep having to clear it over and over. The argument is that DNA is like a computer code, far more advanced than any code any human has ever written. Then it wouldn't make sense for a super intelligent mind to be behind it. To an extent, it would not make sense. DNA, right now, we're still working on epigenetics, of course. And what's bad about it is a lot of genetics we don't know. I mean, it's like this. Look up any science right now. Look up any studies about, like I donated to the Lupus Foundation for that stream back with Team Zombie. Lupus is a great example. Is it hereditary? Are you predisposed to lupus or any other type of autoimmune disease just because it's in your family? And the answer is that there's a lot of research that suggests yes, and there's a lot of stats that suggest no. And that's where it's at, is that it takes entire teams millions of dollars and a lot of time to even draw the conclusion from a hypothesis, and not everybody's going to be on board because you can have rebuttals for it. So it's like, it's going to be so vast that it doesn't make sense. It's kind of the opposite. It's like, man, how did all of this, we're going to spend the next 100 years going back. We spent 100 years trying to map the human genome, and we're going to spend another 100 trying to understand it. And unfortunately for me, I'm probably not going to get to the conclusion of those studies, but who knows? But it is so vast, so broad, that you almost have to ask the question, how did it even come together in the perfect storm to make us in the first place? Not just us. How about my cat back here? He's completely crazy. How did he get made? It's kind of the same. It's the same aspect as, like, I guess it's conceptual, where you have basic rules, positive and negative. They attract. Negative and negative, they repel. And then you start trying to explain, well, how does that work? And not like ICP, like how do magnets work? Not like that. I mean, like, literally, how does this idea of physics work? And you start trying to map it out, but it all comes down to, man, how did this all just come together like that? That's so crazy. You have to wrap your mind around 1,000 different rules. Ivanus, thank you so much for coming by. I love it. We had some, this is like going back to my original, years ago, I said, like, man, we could have the first Shiny stream where we write and Shiny Hunt at the same time. That's basically what we were doing today. We were writing a fan game, and it's too bad that Pokemon would never accept a fan pitch, because we didn't write a game. We wrote a pitch that we would pitch to a company and see if they pick it up. But Pokemon doesn't do that. They employ their own talent on the premise that their own talent will absolutely come up with all the perfect ideas. Not only that, but I have heard, not confirmed, but I have heard Pokemon won't handle, or hire rather, fan artists. So they don't want their people looking at fan art, and they don't want anybody who walks in with a resume to be a designer for Pokemon that says, here's all these fan Pokemon I've created online. They want you to basically just be able to, like, you better not advertise your fake mon. Show that you can show it and design it, but you better not be, like, your entire Instagram better not be fake mon, or they're not going to hire you. But that's just what I've heard. Probably internet rumors that are also caught in between the wedge of translation and media outlets. So it's very secondhand information, probably combined with rumors. Can't confirm any of it. But that's what we did. We wrote a pitch here. So Ivanus, they need to hire you. All right, we're going to go for a few more minutes, 7 more to be exact, and I'm going to give it a few more encounters on both sides. This is the final Shiny stream of 2025, so if something's going to happen, it's got to happen right now. Will this be the final Shiny? I think I just double soft reset. I didn't mean to do that. That was kind of funny. Will this be the final Shiny of 2025, or am I dead in the water? Every Shiny that I have caught has already been spoken for. Done, said, over with. Let's give it a nice double encounter, huh? Shall we? Got the last sips of my coffee here. Zapdos, you're up first. You have failed me, you bird. Kyogre on the dead save battery, what do you got? You've also failed me. All right, here we go. 6 minutes to make some magic happen. 2025 coming to an end. Pokemon, you gotta shine for me. You gotta make something happen here. Hey, Terry friggin' Bogard. Street Fighter 6. Welcome back. Of many names right now, Terry Bogard. Let's see. Just said hi, I'm back. Welcome back. We're going for about 6 more minutes, and we were like, Ivanus was spitting out some ideas, and we were going back and forth with basically if we were writing a fan game slash a pitch to Pokemon for us to be developers or writers or whatever it may be. It was pretty insane. Like we came up with some really fun ideas here. I think what you just talked about is what the book is going to mention too. It all sounds so cool. Yeah, for a lot of us, like, my genetics professor was, he was pretty top level, like one of the top level. He's been around the block. He developed a program for teaching kids genetics, and then he developed one for teaching college genetics. Like, he was crazy good. And the things he would talk about, like, it was crazy when he put it in perspective to think about all those things that I just mentioned. Like, he was a good guy, man. He also taught statistics for some reason. It was really weird for him to walk down to the math department and just open up the book and start teaching us like student's T method for data analysis. Like, guy, you know, every now and then you come across a guy that's someone in your life that is just freaking crazy intelligent and analytical, and like they just resonate with you and you want to be like them. This was one of those guys. Having a typhoon sweep through a junkyard and build a computer. And in some cases, the computer they built were the dinosaurs who were not capable of critical thinking. So we had to do a whole cataclysmic wipe and start over. Like, our biosphere rebuilt itself. It wasn't just us. Nature rebuilt itself. Terry says, Nito, you should make a Smash Bros. Tournament with viewers. Winner equals bragging rights. Well, to be fair, if I was going to do that, I would give out a real prize. I don't know if it would be a monetary, but it would be like, I would actually, like, if I'm going to host a tournament for viewers. So that's the other thing. I'm not going to advertise this outside of my own viewer base. Like, I'm not going to advertise this on Twitter that I'm throwing a tournament and the prize is XYZ. I just, hey, I'm throwing a tournament. That way I get only the people that I know through the years. I don't want outsiders coming in. Not that they can't come in and be viewers, but, you know, you got to expect that if you say there's a prize on the line, then you're going to get people that only come in to sweep that prize and then you'll never see them again. That would not be my goal. And it wouldn't be monetary. So it wouldn't be like you win 20 bucks. Because if I give out cash, it's going to be to like the Lupus Foundation like I did last month. It would be like, I will buy you Pokemon Snap. Or, well, obviously Snap is an old game. So it'd be like Gen 10. I'll buy you Gen 10 if you win this Smash Bros. Tournament. I will buy you an amiibo. That would be a really good one. I will buy you an amiibo. I will send an amiibo somewhere. The only problem is I don't like asking personal details. So it'd be easier if I could, like, I don't know how I would do it. I'd have to get clever. But regardless, that would be something I would do. I would hand a prize out. And the reason I'm capable of handing a prize out for a tournament is because I know damn well I'm not going to win. There's a dozen people in the room that I can keep up with, but that doesn't mean I can beat them. It means I can keep up with them. You'll hear me say that in the streams a lot. I can keep up with XYZ. I say that all the time whenever I'm fighting someone 1v1. I can keep up with. I never say I can beat them because usually I can't keep up for long. Usually it's just waiting for me to slip up and then I die. But I can keep up. So I know I'm not winning the tournament, so I can hand out a prize because I'm not going to win my own prize. I know. Maybe a eShop card to the winner in Discord. Yeah, something that I could give you a code for. That would be a good one. I would be down for that, but I mean, there's so many things I got to arrange already. I mean, how long have I been saying I'm going to play Pokemon Black? I haven't even gotten that organized. Mainly because I'm so busy with work all the time trying to, well, earn a promotion. I earned the first promotion, now I want the second one, but gotta make sure I kind of beat out the competition, if you will. But either way, I don't mean to let work take over my life. Let me brew on this idea. I'd be interested in doing it. The only issue is I'd have to get the word out to my viewers. So that means like no tags and no clickbait titles if I was gonna post something. That'd be a good one. Post it to my YouTube channel and be like, hey, it's on the honor system. If you bring a friend, just make sure you're not like, if you spread the word that I'm hosting a tournament and you tell a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend who posts the chat code, or I'm sorry, the stream code into the chat of a Discord, and then the next thing you know I have 100 people, I'm gonna know what happened. And it's no problem for me, I suppose. Just know that you're not gonna get the prize if you accidentally got the word out to someone whose entire job in their off time is practicing until they, and going around the tournaments and winning money. So that would be where I would be like, yep, it's on the honor system, guys. All right, let's see. Yeah, okay, eShop. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I think an eShop card is an excellent idea. I also think that it's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to have to do a countdown because I talked through half my encounters I was going to do. So let's see. I'd be willing to offer some money up to the winner, too. It's been 4 years, dude. Where's the game? Yeah, and I skipped it to go to X so I can go to ZA. What a guy this is. 2026 is my year. I promise this one will happen. Tournament should have been a gimmick, though, fitting with Friday Night Smash. I'll give you that. I don't do 1v1s because I don't like the idea that you come into the stream and you're going to wait an hour or 35 minutes to get into the room just so you can play one match and die. But, if the tournament, or if it's a tournament, then it's an understanding. Like, hey, this is not Friday Night Smash. This is a tournament. So I get that. That would be a rule set roulette idea. You'll also have to contend with a rule set that might interfere with your skill to fight because it's a rule set featured on Friday Night Smash. I think that would be really funny because otherwise it's a skill challenge. The whole idea is I am not a competitive Smash Bros. Player. If you are a competitive Smash Bros. Player, when you come into Friday Night Smash, you're not going to see 1v1s. You might be teaming with someone like me that doesn't know what he's doing. I might even take a life or two from you because I screwed up and died. Or you're competitive. You know what you're doing. But he just threw Arceus out of a Pokeball. So, and then sometimes it'll be, you know, every now and then, very rarely one-on-ones. But usually 2-on-2 with no items. We do that too. And sometimes the Smash Ball's on, sometimes it's not. So I could definitely go with that idea where, you know, maybe we throw rule sets in where it's not just 1v1s. Maybe there's tag teams in sometimes. Like, maybe halfway through the tournament, you suddenly have to tag team with somebody, and it's random. That way, H-Nation would destroy us every game. So if I were to guess, H-Nation is competitive. H-Nation would tear through a lot of people. Our own Terry freaking Bogard in chat right now. You've been here for a long time. I know that you're very, very potent, so I would say that you got a good chance at tearing through people as well. Kugursi hosted his own tournaments. He was part of an association that hosted tournaments, and Kugursi's won money in tournaments. I used to keep up with Kugursi, but then he started practicing, and he practiced with his friend who is a state champion. So he got good, so he would probably tear through a lot of them as well. Elizabeth is really good. Elizabeth was like very Elizabeth is who it was that was very knowledgeable about like the top tier players and the tier lists right now. And then I'm trying to think who else. Who else have I encountered? I've encountered some people in years past, but it's been a while. Like, some people, they disappear. I stopped seeing them, and they were really, really, really good. And then once I've kind of forgotten their name because they haven't been there for a while. Luna Elizabeth? Is Kareen? Possibly. And then we had a couple of... no, Luna's not H-Nation. H-Nation... Oh, wait, you're right. Sorry, Luna. I've got... the problem is I have Dark Moon, I have Luna, and then I have, like, a third person. Elizabeth was using the name, like, Luna something for... Like, Luna's TK or something like that. So, yeah, H-Nation, it's hard to keep track, because when people are changing their names, I lose track of who's who. I missed one of your messages. You said, spin a wheel to decide what rule set each match will have. That would be good. I would go back through the history of Friday Night Smash and determine what rule sets have been used the most. Because the rule sets after, like, 2020, I pretty much never decided rule sets. I pretty much vote by chat every single rule set change. So I could use the chat voting to decide over the years what's been popular. And then go from there. Because we've had, like, Bombs Away. We've had Pokemon battles, of course. We've had projectiles and Franklin badges. We've done Hammer Time. That was a disaster. Warp Stars was a really fun one where we spawned only Warp Stars. The Sleigh Bells was pretty freaking funny. I love when we do Sleigh Bells because if you turn on crates and you turn on fake Smash Balls, but you don't turn a lot of items on otherwise, then you get like 5 to 10 Smash Balls spawning at a time because there's not that many items, but items are spawning on high. So when you break open a crate, 4 Smash Balls come out. That's always a good one, because at that point you can blow the Smash Balls up and use them as weapons. Oh, I gotta go back up a little bit more. Let's see. Hang on, I gotta scroll up for that, and I don't have my computer mouse. I ran out of, my hubs are all taken with the DS plugged in right now. Alright, that's a double encounter. That is a Shiny Zapdos I nothing. Alright, hang on one second. All right, starting the encounter. That way I get them going. All right, let me scroll back up. You said... I think that leads to many to ask the question if it was really random or whether or not it was guided. Given the absurdity of all of this, I think it's a valid question to ask. No, I think that is the absolute right way to describe it, is absurd. That's where free will kind of sucks, because humans, I mean, I'm pretty critical about what we've used our free will and all of this for. War and oppression and things like that. And I mean, you think of every war that was ever started in humanity, and that in itself, there is a study of that. I don't know if it's not paleontology, pathology, I don't know what it is. The study of basically humans through the years, not history though, like the human condition through the years. And every single time a society starts a war, they think it's a justified war. Every single war that was started, they thought it was justified, whoever started it. So that's kind of the sad part about it, but I digress. We're here for shiny Pokemon. I'm gonna extend it to 4 minutes because I wasn't doing encounters, I was talking. I love the idea of possibly hosting a tournament. I'll have to think about it. There's a few things I want to get to. There's a shiny stream I was talking to Naya about all the way back in 2018, and I never did the idea. Night Eclipse, yes. Luna is Night Eclipse. So H Nation, her @ is Night Eclipse. Wait a minute, Luna is Night Eclipse. Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. H Nation is Luna, Luna is Night Eclipse. I gotcha. I have to remember all the names, because I also have Dark Moon. Dark Moon is another one that's in there. I gotta try and keep up with everything. And I think we've actually had a couple of people. I think Mac Edits, who was also our Sen Edits, was also a competitive player, like tournament wise. I think I got my ass whooped a couple of times. Actually, I recall it. I think there was a bruise right over my left shoulder from a punch that sent me to the moon. And then I don't know if I think one time I had Padge. Padge is, I mean, Padge is good, man. Padge competes in tournaments just like Kugursi. And he's a state champion, so he was in here one time. Kugursi brought him with. I gotta respect that Gore has been in every Friday Night Smash, or close to, for like... I'm sorry, not Mac Edits. You're Mac Edits. Sorry, you're Mac Edits. Ignore me. I'm good. Peanut. That's who I was trying to go for. Peanut. Sorry, for a little while, I had like 3 Macs running around. I can't keep my little Macs in order. No, I switched your names. Just like Luna, except there's no excuse for this one. Terry Bogard, Arsene Edits, Mac Edits. What I meant was the other guy, Peanut, because I have 2 little Macs I used to see. And then the Inkling main. And then Eoshi Gamer. Dude, Eoshi Gamer, I don't know if he competes in tournaments, but damn, I can keep up. Put it that way. I can keep up. I ain't beating Eoshi Gamer 1v1. I can keep up. Aiden James for a little while. Aiden was in the very first Friday Night Smash I ever held, ever. Aiden James started practicing. And he comes in every now and then, but he does not unleash hell. I've seen him unleash hell outside of my streams. He's been working on it, man. He's been working on it. So, Aiden James would be... And this is assuming that I get the word out enough that people from Smash Bros. Past make their way back here. Yeah, and don't let me forget, I have your video to watch right after I'm done with this, by the way. I was working on Square to Charge's videos as well. It's kind of weird. Janinjuice is kind of the opposite. He's like me with Pokemon Black. He kept saying he was going to get Smash Bros. He got Smash Bros, but he didn't get it back out. And then, and yeah, I forgot Goku was Mario Madness once. I forgot that. And then I also forgot, who was the other? I mix names up all the time. Mario Madness being, oh, Nintendo Gamer Kid. Nintendo Gamer Kid is another one that I forgot his name change. So, hey, Magical Raven right here at the very end. So I'm literally going to do 2 more resets on each game. Magical Raven comes in. At year's end, you made this happen for Shaman, and you've made this happen for countless shinies. Magical Raven, my good luck charm. Is she going to walk in here for the last 4 resets, 2 on each game? and cause a shiny to spawn? Let's find out. Not for Zapdos on that one. Let's see. Pink is more your color anyways. Let's see if Kyogre will turn pink instead of blue. Magical Raven, how are you doing this New Year's? Hopefully everything's been going well for you, and hopefully you're having a good time with new games and gaming in 2025, which is funny how little we actually talked about the stream topic. All right, one more reset per game. I'm doing well. I'm gonna cook some dinner after this. Mac Edits, aka Arsene Edits, aka Terry Bogard in chat, has a video out that I was gonna watch, several of them in fact. Every now and then I check who's posting what. It was Serona is another person I was gonna check out his videos. Kugursi is back to streaming. I really want to catch his. In fact, he's been playing Fortnite. For some reason, you can't say Fortnite on YouTube. I don't know why, but it's not letting people say Fortnite. And then he's been playing Smash again. So, but I do like seeing fighting games. I just don't play them. So I do want to see Street Fighter 6 because I loved that Terry got in the game. So you're gonna be my source through Street Fighter 6. I haven't really checked out Street Fighter 6 until I heard about it, and then I blew it off for years. That said, the other thing that I want to check out is now I can't remember. Oh, Square to Charge. Janinjuice has a whole organization he has created called Square to Charge, and they have been doing crazy amounts, like 3-hour videos of their races. I got to check that out. All right. Tomorrow Smash stream. I'll see if I squeeze one in. We'll see. Right now, I don't exactly have a lot of New Year's plans going. I got a couple people that they came over. We played Final Fantasy 15 last year, and they kept coming over. We kept having Final Fantasy night for a while. Actually, that was 2 years ago. We did the DLC last year. I was talking about them coming over to play Final Fantasy 16 possibly, to start that game and start doing Final Fantasy nights like we did. Everybody's kind of in this situation where they're all having life events occur that are sometimes winter related, and some car crashes, some sickness, that kind of thing, or injuries. We'll see where we're at with things, what they're going on. If that's not what we're doing, and we're not like doing kimchi and cooking sushi, then I will definitely stream Smash probably about 12 o'clock. I will do it a little earlier. Like, it's not gonna be Friday night, it's gonna be Wednesday during the day, and I'd be done by like 5 o'clock. So it would be prime time for Archo and several people that are from other countries. We'll see. Let the idea brew and stew, and I'll figure it out, because I was thinking about recording Pokemon X in the morning too. All right, last encounter. Here we go. Final encounter. Magical Raven walks in. My good luck charm. Do you make Zapdos shine? Zapdos, you get a full cutscene for this one. One more stream moment. One more shiny for 2025. Does it happen? My TV even went on standby, so I can't see it. It is not shiny. That leaves only Kyogre left. Let's makes YouTube videos as well. I need to check out, because I did know that. You're right. I haven't kept up with any, like, for 6 months, I've been just work. Like, I haven't been watching videos. I haven't been popping in streams. I should take a look too, because you're right. I knew that and kind of somewhat forgot that. I'm going to check all of that out tonight. I'm going to keep that on in the background while I'm making dinner. I'm going to be checking it out. Let's, you, and Serona, and Sacrona, sorry, and Square to Charge. Those are the 4 I'm going to be checking out. All right, guys, check this out. Here we go. Total silence, except for my voice. Here we go. Still total silence. Well, a little bit of like ominous noise from this game. You ready for this? The true end of the stream. The true final encounter. By the way, thank you, Zapdos. Zapdos did not crash my stream this time. So we're good. And I did the same setup I did last time with doubles. Here we go. And Kyogre, will you shine on this final shiny hunt of 2025? Unless somehow I end up doing encounters tomorrow, but I don't think so. Magical Raven is my good luck charm. Let's see it. Let's do this. 1 in 8,000. Raven, you can do this. It was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. Alas, the stream ends here. Zapdos on the left, Kyogre on the right, neither one shining. It was solid, man. I really appreciate you guys' time. I had a great time talking with you guys, and man, we come up with the craziest, best ideas during these streams, don't we? A Smash Bros. Tournament based on Friday Night Smash, which I have never done and should do. We came up with fan game ideas and lore ideas for Pokemon. This is gonna be good. All right, guys. Humble and proud. I am Nito Marquis signing off for 2025. Unless I stream Smash tomorrow, and I'm really feeling like I kind of want to. So hopefully your stream, it says it crashed for you, it says it's good for me, so, and then you said bye, so I'm assuming that the stream came back up. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you, truly, guys. You make so many memories, and so many editable moments, and so many fun things. Like, first stream in 2025, gotta be the one. You mean 26, huh? Man, today was actually really cool. We had a great time. Dude, I love it. That whole idea of like, dude, I should do writing and shiny hunting at the same time. That goes back like 5 years. And the shiny idea for a stream that I've never done, that goes back 8 years. In fact, I'll just tell you, I'm not hiding it. I didn't want to advertise it in case another streamer picks up on it. It was going to be called the Shiny Stakeout. It was going to start as soon as like Friday night after work. The Shiny Stakeout is I stream as long as it takes to find a shiny or I fall asleep in the process. I never did it because it is such a huge commitment. I feel like I want to do that. I even had the artwork ready to go. A Shiny Stakeout. Never did it. I feel like I should. 2026, man. I should make this wild and finally do it. Hit harder and come back. I had some really cool series that I edited over the last couple years here, and this year I kind of felt dry on things that I got to finally. Next year, I'm going to make up for it. Catch you guys in a little bit tomorrow, hopefully. If not tomorrow, I will make sure that this weekend for sure. Or Friday night, more likely. All right, guys. Humble and proud, I'm Nito Marquis. Have yourselves a good afternoon. Take care. And don't worry, I'm watching yours right after this. I got to knock some snow off my roof real quick, and then I'm good to go. And then I'll start dinner, and then I'll be watching that. So you guys take care. Thank you so much, and farewell.